Gooding Jr.
Yes.
He is 57 years old today.
How about that?
If I asked you better Cuba movie, would you go Boys in the Hood or Jerry Maguire?
I just, I'm a rom-com guy, so I'm going to go Jerry Maguire. Jerry, show me the money.
Was that Rockstar? Was that a cut you played right there from Cuba, or was that Dunaway?
I just looked. I didn't play anything, which is crazy. So I guess that must have been Dunaway.
Jerry, show me the money.
My lips didn't even move.
I thought the better movie was Boys in the Hood, but I thought the performance from Cuba was so good in Jerry Maguire. I mean, he made that movie, right?
I've never seen Boys in the Hood. Did not like Jerry Maguire.
Turn it up.
I thought Jerry Maguire was entertaining.
Now it's a cut.
For romantic comedy, I thought it was well written.
Yeah, I was not a big fan of Jerry Maguire.
What didn't you like about it?
I just didn't like the movie.
Okay.
All right. That is our 4 Downs, brought to you by Slice. Before we get out of here, one more thought on the game last night. I'll go first. Just really amazed that Alabama got pushed around like that. They got pushed around, bullied in the trenches on both sides by the Michigan offensive and defensive line. That surprised me. Also surprised me that Alabama's receivers couldn't find some separation against Michigan. So good win by Michigan. I think they beat Washington. I know you disagree with me.
Well, I don't know yet. I mean, I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I think there is something that is overconfidence is real. And I think Alabama was overconfident.
It felt that way the whole time.
Yeah, it did. The fan base, I mean, I can't tell you how confident the fan base was.
But the players' conversation, their talking changed from the SEC championship. In all their interviews, they were different.
This is when I knew I was on the right side yesterday, although Alabama did have a 7-point lead late. I had 3 people text me to say they were coming out of retirement to bet on Alabama.
Oh, wow.
They were like easy money.
I wasn't one of them. Brown, 15,
you're not retired.
15 seconds. Yeah. I have been this week.
I've said it as many times as I could possibly say it, and I'll say it again to end the show and end our stay here in L.A. I was wrong about Michigan's defense. I apologize to Michigan's defense. I was wrong about you. You were as advertised.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Hats off to Michigan. Great win. Hats off to Washington. A great win. And the Big Ten, future Big Ten championship game next Monday night. We'll have some big plans around that. We'll tell you about it on the show. We're live from Las Vegas now. 9 a.m. tomorrow Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. 7 a.m. out here where we live.
Not much longer.
I mean, we're on demand. Why can't we go in tomorrow?
So Lance can sleep.
Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
You want to look great while supporting your favorite show? You know the place to go is the official Next Round store at nextround.store. Yes, there are .store domains, and we have one. From shirts to hoodies to hats and all kinds of fun stuff, you can rep the Next Round anywhere you go. At the beach, Next Round hats to block out that sun. Up north in the winter, get you a comfy Next Round hoodie. Just need something to put your $20 beer in at a game? Get you a Next Round koozie and throw that thing in your pocket. You never know what stuff Jim's going to make me put in there next. Check it out. It's the Next Round store at nextround.store.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live daily show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At nextround.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting nextround.store.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping on some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And in our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, LT takes off the gloves for in-depth conversations with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmont Vodka. Find these podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, let's fire up the comment section. We'll get rolling throughout the day today. Back in Vegas, I forget, Brownie, which one of us Wahoos said, man, let's just leave the semifinals and go to the national championship if Alabama won. I think you'd have to check me as luggage at this point if we don't go home today. I am wore out. We've got a ton of stuff to get to today. We're back at the Doghouse in Las Vegas on our way back to Birmingham this afternoon. We'll be in studio in Birmingham coming up a little bit later this week. Back tomorrow, in fact. But here we are in Vegas. Another wonderful night last night. Had a good steak dinner after we left Los Angeles. And as the football world continues to turn and the basketball world cranks up its conference play, we're on our way back home from Alabama's loss out in Pasadena.
Lance already ship out?
He's not here. He's not here yet. He's on his way, I'm sure.
You think?
I haven't gotten an update of you.
How late did you boys push it?
I came in about 1:10 Pacific.
Okay. The old 1:10 Pacific time. That's 3:10 body clock right there, Jimmy D.
It's 3:10 body clock.
Yeah.
And my hip's hurting. My head's not.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
No headache?
No headache, but my hips hurt.
Yeah.
And I got coffee, so I'm ready to go. LT, I'm sure we'll be here in a second. We got video. I mean, we might as well start with this.
Yeah.
We went to one of those Cirque du Soleil things.
Right.
I have to say it like that because I used to say Circus Soleil.
Right.
Which was never right. And so
you'll be over there, sir.
of all the people to get pulled out of the crowd,
yeah,
it would my boy Lance. I mean, there's probably 250 people in this arena. And as they were getting ready to start the show, they pull our boy up here, and Forrester will roll the video here. Runs about 2 minutes unless he shortened it a little bit. So you'll look, Brownie, and this is, they're going to do a trick, and they've got the host up on the stage has put a pint of beer. Is that right, LT?
Yeah.
Pint of beer on a rack from a billiard thing, and he's spinning it around. Look at this. Spinning this thing around full speed. And the beer staying there. I felt like it was a trick glass or something.
It had to be like magnetic or something, right?
Had to be, I think. So they're spinning that thing around and around, and we get to the end, Brownie, and he slows it down.
Right.
And he tells LT to take it.
That dude's got some hip action, by the way.
And then he was excited to be there.
Oh, was he?
And at the end, and Rockstar, we got a little delay, so you tell me. But Rockstar, about right now, LT's guzzling that beer down, making everybody on the next round proud in front of that crowd there. I couldn't have guzzled it. You nailed it down. Were you embarrassed?
No, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
I really didn't. I had no idea. That guy. The crazy thing, Brown, is he had an unbelievable New York accent.
Right.
And he's a Brit.
Really?
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, like he was faking the accent?
Oh, yeah. So he went into his real British accent.
Right.
Like he dropped it for a little bit, did stand up.
I was thinking about it for a little bit, LT. Is there a chance that really he has a New York accent and he faked the British accent? It could go either way.
It probably could.
Yeah. It was Mad Apples? Mad Apples.
Well, which people in the chat room are saying is hilarious. Did you guys find it hilarious? That was the way it was.
Nope.
Yep, knew it would happen.
Well, I think I told Dunaway, so that's I've seen 3 different Cirque du Soleils.
Okay.
And I thought O was probably the best.
Right.
Love was number 2, and this obviously would be number 3.
I went Love O, and this was number 3.
Okay.
There was one amazing part because we were in row 2?
Yeah,
row 2. Row 2 center. Really great seats. And they had this, I'm going to call it the Wheel of Death, Brown.
Right.
It is this pendulum.
Yeah,
it's 2 circles on each side, rings on each side, and the guys start off inside of it.
Yeah.
And they're doing it with their feet like this, and it starts to spin like this, and then they're doing flips on the inside.
Right.
Well, then they eventually take turns crawling on the outside of that dang thing, and they don't have any wires on or anything. And it's right above us. And it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen.
No, it really was.
Yeah.
Like if they take one misstep, they're dead.
Yeah,
absolutely dead.
Yeah. Pritch Law says in the chat room, "Good Lord, y'all are still out west." Yeah, that's what my body is. That's what my body and my head are saying.
Oh, look at this.
Fritz,
This is why I was a minute late, by the way.
Okay.
Fritz, this is the way I work, man. Until I land back in Birmingham, Alabama's not officially eliminated.
Look what I
get home.
Look what I just noticed.
What?
You set your alarm for 6:23?
6:23 p.m.
Oh.
How in the world did you wake up?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either.
So you set it for 6:23 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you're here, man.
Yeah, 6:23 a.m. was gonna be tight too, but
I literally could sleep to 6:23.
6:23 p.m. was gonna be a complete no-go.
You know, Maggie leaves for Duke Saturday. We get back late tonight. So that's a no-see. I could see myself sleeping all the way through Thursday.
Yeah.
Just making it in for the show. And then on Friday, seeing her for just one date night before she's gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird marriage that we have here.
It's quite a line.
A lot to get to in the show today. We'll get right to that after Brownie tells us about our friends at mybookie.ag. We're in the Doghouse bar and sports book here. It's at Resort World. It's a beautiful place. You see the ticker going behind us here. Big screens everywhere. Live playing going on last night. Would you win your bet last night?
1-1. No.
1-1. Yeah. I mean, the one you made here at the sports.
I didn't play anything.
Oh, you didn't play anything. Well, would you have won?
I would have gone 1-1.
Yeah, I would tell you. So you're telling me. So you're telling me the plays you play at Lance's Lock are the ones you would play if you were in Vegas.
Yeah.
I get it now. Smart. Hey, I'm gonna be a little slow with the IQ today.
I'm going to be behind you.
You're gonna be slow with the IQ today. Michigan still a 4-point favorite over Washington. There at mybookie.ag. If you care about the FCS game, oddly played on Sunday. South Dakota State 12.5. I will never understand how they determine that's the best time to play that game.
So you think it should be Saturday?
Lance, Sunday is the biggest day of the NFL season. This coming Sunday, not just any Sunday. This coming Sunday. I mean, like Dolphins, Bills are playing Sunday night for the AFC Championship. Pittsburgh is playing to try to knock the Bills out of the playoffs. The Packers win, they get in the playoffs. The Cowboys can win the division. The Eagles can win the division.
And there's no games on Saturday, right? Or
well, no, there's 2 NFL games Saturday, but I think they're both afternoon games.
But you could still sandwich it in there. You could schedule it around those games.
But everything else is on Sunday because of they don't want to give too much of a competitive advantage of making the team play on a short week or a longer week.
Yeah, you start at 1:30. Of course, I don't even know what time zone I'm looking at right here. That's Pacific time. So you start at 3:30 Sunday. No, it's I'm using the ESPN app, but I didn't know if it was giving me Pacific time or Central time. I had to look. So you start at 3 p.m. excuse me, 3:30 on Sunday or Saturday. 3:30 in the NFL with Steelers-Ravens, right? Mm-hmm. Pretty important game. A massive game for the Steelers. Ravens are resting people because presumably because there's nothing can be gained. Why would you not kick the college game at noon on Saturday? Might I remind you, it's Saturday.
Right.
When you play college football, right?
Saturdays for the boys, the college boys.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people complain even that the college championship game is on a Monday. This is a Saturday. Play the game on Saturday, not head-to-head with the NFL. I don't even know why I'm so passionate about that. I probably wouldn't watch it in either situation.
You know, the interesting thing, if you talk to a guy that runs a sports book here, he would tell you the money bet on the NFL to college, and that's not even FBS. Is probably 20-1.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. More people betting on the NFL, you say?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's just trying to find a window to get more fans watching.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying right now the importance for fans anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, there's nobody that's going to doubt that. All you got to do is look at TV numbers. I mean, we'll get to it later. The Alabama-Michigan TV number was massive, but you look at the NFL TV numbers in comparison to any college game, NFL's going to blow it away, and we're now talking about the FBS. Anyway, I digress. It's their game. They can play it anytime they want to. I just think it's
I think they should own Christmas Eve. They should play it. They should make their season end on Christmas Eve championship game.
You have to come up with a solution for what happened this year when Christmas Eve is a Sunday.
Yeah.
And the
every now and then it's going to happen.
Yeah,
you put your flag in there 6 days a week.
Became a big NFL day that Christmas Eve.
It did.
Anyway, with all of that said, you can play those games. MyBookie.ag code next round. That Steelers game I'm talking about. They're a 3.5-point favorite at Baltimore, which tells you Vegas thinks a lot of Ravens are resting there, right? That massive Miami-Buffalo game for the division. Buffalo, a 3-point road favorite in Miami, who is dealing with significant injuries. All those games available at mybookie.ag. You are going to get a deposit bonus at mybookie.ag. You make your initial deposit. They'll match it with a bonus. You can use that bonus right away. It is yours and yours forever at mybookie.ag when you use code next round. mybookie.ag, code next round. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. mybookie.ag, code next round.
All right, before we get to more football, we did basketball last night. Out of conference, last one for Auburn. They dominated Penn 88-68. I think we were landing here in Vegas, and you said, I was somewhere, maybe it was at dinner, and you were like, you looked at it and you were like, oh, imagine that, Auburn's killing Penn. They went by 20. I don't think did that end up covering?
I think the official number went off at 20.5.
Yeah, so tough one there. But what is not tough was Janai Broom, who was 24 and 12, hit 3 3-pointers. I mean, dude, if he starts shooting threes consistently, that changes everything for an already really good team. Auburn became a ranked team while we were on this football trip. They're 25 in the country, but they beat Penn last night. 7 different guys with 3-pointers. And now this table is set for number 25 Auburn to start SEC play this weekend on the road at Arkansas. So just gut feeling as we start this season in basketball, conference play on Saturday, where you think this Auburn team is right now, you two? How good is this team right now? At this point now, they seem to be further along.
A show in Indianapolis 2 years ago, and I came on at that point, and Auburn was about to play Alabama. And I said, I feel like this Auburn team is the best team in the nation. That was Jabari, Walker Kessler. Really, really good Auburn team. I think this Auburn team they feel like they've got top 15 to top 10 potential.
So that's anywhere Sweet 16, Elite 8 type potential.
But, a break here, break there.
Yeah.
They get a little bit better as the season goes.
I know, Jim, you trust Ken Palm. You trust Ken Palm, right?
Yep.
We talk about it a lot this year, this time of year, because the coaches talk about it. I mean, you talk to any coach in America, and he won't mention a team that's ranked in the AP unless he gets some bonus for beating an AP-ranked team. He won't mention a lot of things. He'll mention Ken Palm. Guys, this was a Ken Palm top 50 game, whatever. Or who do you think Ken Palm says is the best team in the SEC going into conference play?
Best team in the SEC going into conference play. Ken Palm usually loves Tennessee because of their defensive numbers.
Yeah, I would say it's Tennessee, maybe Kentucky.
It is Alabama.
Yeah. See, that's always hard for me to wrap my head around.
I know,
but I think it gets skewed because of that offensive number.
Well, and the schedule.
Yeah.
Alabama is 8-5. They say they are the best. Tennessee, they've got 7th in Ken Palm. Auburn is 11th. I was getting to that point that Auburn, according to Ken Palm, is a top 3 team, and Kentucky is 18. So Texas A&M 23. If you kind of wanted to build a top 25 out of the Ken Palm analytics, that's what the SEC would look like in that top 25.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about Alabama. They started on the road at Vanderbilt this weekend, and that's if you want to do anything special this year in conference, I know it's a long conference season, but you got to win at Vandy to start things off. Those road wins are rare, and to start off at Vandy, sort of a blessing for you there. Alabama's they played an unbelievable schedule. They're a really, really good team. I just want to see them be a little tougher as they get down the stretch defensively against these SEC teams.
It won't matter Saturday what you're talking about, because Saturday Auburn is on the road, as you mentioned, at Arkansas, but that was the 52nd consecutive win at Neville Arena for the Auburn Tigers. And
non-conference, right?
Yeah, non-conference. I'm sorry. Yeah, 52nd consecutive non-conference win for the Auburn Tigers there at Neville Arena. I apologize for that.
That's okay. I just remember being there last year when Alabama was there.
No, I do remember that. Yeah. They do play Texas A&M coming up in the midweek game, who, as I just told you, is a top 25 game in Ken Palm. So Auburn's home opener, really interesting too. But this Arkansas game on the road matches 2 of probably at the end of the year 2 Sweet 16 level teams. I'm not saying that's their ceiling by any stretch. I'm just saying at the end of the year, if I told you Auburn and Arkansas in the Sweet 16, you'd say, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, Musselman's teams usually get better, but they've been a little disappointing.
Yeah, I think the expectation is Final Four for those guys.
Yeah.
I kind of agree.
They haven't played that well to start with.
Yeah.
All right, so that's basketball moving into this weekend. We've got football news to get to, some developing, some not. But Storm Restoration Roofing bringing you our open segment here from Las Vegas. And we'll continue to talk about some more of our trip from yesterday. And then several big college football stories that are going on throughout the day. Our buddy Connor O'Gara will join us. And I didn't see Connor out in Pasadena. I don't know if he was in New Orleans or not, or if he observed both of these great semifinal games from home. But we'll talk to Connor coming up to start hour number 2. But Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg from Pell City, would love to get on your rooftop and give you a free, no-cost roof inspection, no obligation here in 2024. What does that mean, Jim? Well, it's pretty simple. He has a ladder. He'll get on top of your roof. He'll let you know if there's anything wrong up there. If so, he'll tell you about it. It's free. It's no charge. And then you'll decide whether you want Greg to fix it or not, or maybe you just want water to come into your house. Maybe you want a naturally occurring waterfall. Whatever you choose, you can call Greg from Pell City at this number on my iPad down here that just went off. Let me bend down here and pick it up. Let me log back in. Passcode Saban18. Here it is. Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City, Storm Restoration Roofing, A+ rated with a Better Business Bureau. Forster, having me on camera there to see me bend over with my back at this point would have probably been almost as big a feat as seeing LT catch that beer glass off the racket last night and drink it like he did.
I saw that video this morning. I was like, man, that was something else. I don't know. I mean, I know the laws of physics, keeping the glass on, but how no beer spilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't understand it. And then when the guy did the stack of the I don't even know what it was.
That felt magnetic. Like that.
It had to have been.
Yeah. That felt like it was magnetic. He had like big blocks.
I'll tell you another thing, Brown, that was crazy. Did you talk about the sock puppets?
Oh, wow.
No,
wow.
Shadow puppets.
Shadow puppets.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
that was pretty amazing.
No,
It makes
it
a little more
was.
sense now.
You know, it was incredible. He did to the Circle of Life, Elton John.
Lion,
And he-
Lion's King, right?
Yeah. He did these shadow puppets of all these different animals. But I mean,
things like this, Brownie, is like.
Yeah, right.
no, but it was incredible.
Yeah.
Was it not?
Yeah.
No, wait,
So he
look
got
at
the
the-
whole song?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
He
So
basically
Circle of
did like
Life.
15 or 20 different animals.
So he basically reenacts the Lion King with shadow puppets.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was pretty
Well,
funny.
I mean, in the chat room, a lot of people are saying they love those Cirque du Soleil shows now. Some of them are arguing which one is actually the best one.
Yeah. Well, it's a great poll question. Which one's
yeah.
better, Love, O, or Mad Apples?
Yeah, but there's like 5 other ones too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hey,
How do they find somebody?
do I look as bad as your eyes?
Yeah. I was just about to say your eyes that are not even open. You're looking through like you're looking.
I think we might have gone to the same dispensary.
I'm looking at your eyes, and
Oh
it
my
looks.
gosh.
It looks like you're looking through.
I
the
don't know
blinds.
what happened. No, I stayed out a little later than you.
You did. I left you. I did hit a table when I came back here.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Lost,
Any luck?
no, I lost $100 quick. I decided to go to the room.
I started playing video poker at the bar.
Well, you know what? I remembered after I sat down. Without my buddies here, I don't really understand the rules of the game. My buddy Mike Kennedy and Philip Hunter usually are like,
Boy, Vegas hates people like you.
yeah.
Parlays, don't know the game you're playing. when
so
you sit down.
you sat down to play a game you don't know the rules?
Well, I've played it many times, but usually sitting next to my friend Mike Kennedy or Philip Hunter,
Right.
and it's 3-card poker, right?
Okay.
Which is nothing like I play at Luxford's house. But I'm sitting down, and you've got to put your bets a certain way, and then you do something, and I threw $100 away so quick, and he is like, if you'd have put your thing here, if you'd have just put a $5 chip on this circle here before this hand, you would have just won $50.
Yeah.
And I said, I slid it out of that circle. Then
Did
he's
you
like,
tell him?
no, you have to do it before the hand.
A little
You
late
tell him if you would have been born to a billionaire, you wouldn't be dealing me cards here.
So Dunaway sits down at a table he doesn't know the rules to, blows through $100 like that. It's
Yeah.
like, at least you have the sense enough then to get
Yeah.
up and go to your room and go to bed.
I'm crying. I don't even know why I'm crying now. Just water's coming out of my eyes for no reason. Just tiredness, tired eyes. Maggie puts me on a budget.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You got $100 to lose tonight, Jeff.
No, I had 400 cash for the whole trip. so,
Really?
yeah.
And you've lost every bit of it?
I got 100.
Okay, 100 left.
Mom always likes it when I come home with a little
That-
cash.
that's-
Rationing this.
Hey, does the 100 Lance make it to the airport slot machines, or does it disappear in these slot machines?
Oh, I think it's done here.
Is it
Well,
done here? Yeah.
I'm eager to see if there's a 2024 future on the college football national champions program.
It's probably right up there on the futures board.
maybe early.
Have
Maybe
they-
early.
Are you
Maybe
going to
early.
play Georgia?
I'm not playing
No,
Georgia.
you know who he's going to play. Lance, will they wait to put that out after Monday's game?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think it'll look like?
Oh, whoa,
Uh,
whoa. That's a whole.
No, okay.
Say- Think about it a little bit. That's a good topic. Let me write that one down, Brownie.
All right, write it down, Jimmy. Yep.
Something about something about future.
Yeah, NFL or college football futures for next
what
year.
that'll look like. All right, Johnson RV Center has us on the road today. We're in Las Vegas at the Doghouse. Thank you to these folks here. I mean, they literally, nobody's drinking coffee in a bar that's not open yet. They brewed a pot of coffee.
Yeah, I saw Cindy with the bartender again.
Right.
We got Kicking It Coolers, the adult Capri Sun. Shout out to Richard Holland, our good buddy there. But yeah, great place here. If you've never been, come hang out. It's one of the awesome sports bars, too.
Yeah, great.
Little small, which is perfect for me. I like the intimate setting.
I mean, did you see some of the ones we walked by last night? Like,
New York's smallest ever.
Yeah, it's like 2 rows.
Aria's small.
Yeah, most of them, the newer ones, they're building bigger, arena style. I think MGM changed theirs and made theirs huge.
This is the place to watch games.
Yeah,
dude.
me too. I mean, I love the setup here, and the food is good. We had that before we got out of town last time. Johnson RV Center can take you wherever you want to go in 2024.
All right, so a lot of you said, I'm not going to Houston anymore. Well, guess what you did? First of all, you saved a little money, right? So you
probably a lot of money.
Probably a lot of money if you're planning on going to that game in Houston. So you saved a little cash, and now your plans are wide open. You go anywhere you want now in an RV from Johnston RV Center. And there are going to be a lot of RV shows coming up, and Johnston RV says, why wait for a show? We're putting on a show every day right here at Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, always online at johnstonrvcenter.com. See all the Forest River items that are there. See they're previously owned at Johnston RV, and you get a great deal on all of that right now. And as always, warranties on everything, lifetime warranties, everything is new and under 2 years of age used at Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and always online at johnstonrvcenter.com.
A couple of big college football notes when we come back to Vegas on the next round.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. All the games, player props, great parlays, and all right there at mybookie.ag, right at your fingertips. And right now, you can get a special sign-on bonus when you make your initial deposit by using code NEXTROUND. That's mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND for that special sign-on bonus. mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
When it comes to great clothing, I love comfortable clothing that I can also wear to the golf course or anywhere I go. I get that from Rhoback. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Whether it is the softest hoodies you'll ever find, they're great quarter zips, the polos, the pants, the crew necks, you can get them all at Rhoback.com, and we're helping you save. Your first order at Rhoback.com can get a 20% discount when you use code TNR20. That is Rhoback.com, code TNR20 for 20% off your initial order at Rhoback.com.
The next round is so much more than the show you get from 9 to 1 each day. So make sure to head to our official YouTube channel at Next Round Live and subscribe to get all of our latest content. We, of course, have plenty of specialty content and shorts based all around the sports in the heart of the SEC. But we also talk pro sports, gambling, lifestyle and entertainment, and so much more. It's the Next Round YouTube channel where you never know what you're going to find next. Subscribe now to see the latest content and get notifications when we go live. That's at Next Round Live on YouTube.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Hey, Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. Do you want to help pay for my kids' college and look great while you're doing it? You need to go to The Next Round store. Everything from hats to short sleeve and long sleeve t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, zip-up hoodies, and much more. And we're adding new things all the time. Why would you not want to see my kids get a great college education and look great out in the public while you're doing it? Get the gear we wear all the time on the show, and there's only one place to get it. NextRound.store. That's NextRound.store.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Back with you to Las Vegas at the Doghouse Bar and Sports Book and Resort World, the biggest, most spacious casino out here in Las Vegas, and a wonderful sports book. When you're here, check out Resort World. You can make your travel plans online anytime you're coming to Las Vegas. Always a fun time out here, where they had about 7 million visitors just for the New Year's Eve weekend.
A lot of them still here. So last night when you guys went to the Cirque du Soleil show, I walked from where we had eaten dinner at the Aria back to Resorts World here just to soak in a little bit of the Strip. And a lot of people on the Strip right now, my friend.
Yep.
Some of those New Year's Eve clients decided they'd stick around a little while.
Any Bama fans?
Actually, I did run into, I was going to remember their name, and I meant to put it in my phone. Father and son that had come to Vegas from L.A., and they were going to spend a couple days here in L.A. and then go back to their lives. And they stopped me, and we talked for a second, and I promised I was going to remember their name and bring it up today. They gave it to me. I just forgot to put it in my phone. There was a lot going on.
I will tell you, it's been a reoccurring thing. People who are Bama fans who were coming through Vegas and were going to be here both days we were doing the show here, they would ask, hey, where are you doing your show? I want to come by and watch the show. And I'm always like, Resort World, Doghouse, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. They're like, what?
Yeah. No, thank you.
7 a.m. to 10 a.m.? Yeah.
The time zones change. The times don't.
I can't get used to it.
And you know how many of them showed up?
Zero.
Exactly.
Oh, I won the other day. They're like, hey, 7 a.m. No chance, guys.
I
chance.
hate Pacific time.
Yeah, I
It's worse.
Yeah, one of the guys, it was either Forrester or Taylor, I was texting with this morning, and I said Pacific time.
Yes,
No,
for the
thank you.
birds.
No, thank you.
Central time zone's best time zone. There's no doubt about it.
is.
None
It is.
whatsoever.
I do like, there's a time and a place where the game ends, and then you can go out to a nice dinner or a night on the town or catch a movie or a show when the late game is over with. But I couldn't live that way on the reg.
Well, I can't
It would
imagine
wear
getting
me out.
up and watching games that early.
Yeah, I mean, like one night in
That's the London game, right?
yeah, everything feels like the London game.
Yeah, all the 11 a.m. kicks are 9 a.m. I mean, hell, you'd have to be up at 6 a.m. to watch the beginning of college game day.
Yeah. Yeah, I do not like it. I thought, the concept of 9 a.m. college football sounds good, but now that I've actually experienced what it's like, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, we would suck as Europeans having to watch overnight NFL football, right?
Terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do it.
Yeah, you're right. Central time.
It's the best time.
Central time's
You'll
the best
never hear Ryan Brown complain about Central Time Zone.
Yeah. Pacific has this in sunsets probably, but
that's all right.
Time zone, we got them. Hey, Gutter Cap brings you part of the show. We'll get into the college football news right now.
Yeah, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it, don't get on the roof. Dirty, dangerous job. You slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. You're no good to the wife or kids. Call Chris Stewart. More than 20 years in business. He'll come out and give you a free estimate. GutterCapBirmingham.com.
We'll get back to LT's question from Brown about futures in a second, but I did not get a chance to see it, and I would love if any of our viewers did. But as I was walking in, First Take, Mike Greenberg and the guys referenced that earlier they talked about the future of Nick Saban.
Get Up.
On Get Up, excuse me, on Get Up. The future of Nick Saban on ESPN, and they didn't reference it, and has not made it back on a replay in here yet. I would love to know what any of you guys, if y'all saw it on Get Up, what they were talking about, because that's going to be, a very big topic over the next few days. It was on this very day on the calendar, that Nick Saban arrived in Tuscaloosa 17 years ago.
Wow. 17 years ago.
I mean, that's incredible. Like, I think I was on the high end. I said 6 to 8 years is what he would be at Alabama. There are a lot of people will be like, he's a job jumper. He'll only be there 3 or 4 years. And I always thought the job jumper was a very unfair tag to Nick Saban. I don't think that's fair at all to call him a job jumper.
I thought he was.
I just did. The numbers didn't support him being a job jumper. I mean,
I thought it was 5 years at Bama.
Yeah. And a lot of people did. You're very, very, very far from alone in that. I thought 6 to 8 years. I don't think you could have sold anybody, even the most ardent, positive, optimistic Alabama fan. It was going to be 17 years. 17 years of Tuscaloosa not done yet. That is pretty remarkable to think about.
And I assume that's what they were talking about on Get Up, was whether or not it was, if the time has come. Because what you had yesterday was a 5-year assistant at Holman Wiggins leave to go to Texas A&M, considered to be the second best recruiter in college football behind Fran Brown, who's now the coach at Syracuse from Georgia, the head coach there at Syracuse. So this is one of college football's best recruiters, who's been with Nick Saban for 5 years, coached 4 different first-round NFL wide receivers in that 5-year span. He was the guy recruiting a lot of those great wide receivers to Tuscaloosa. And, we had Aaron Suttles, worth the watch, on the show yesterday. Go back and watch all that. But these are the type of things you keep an eye on. Nothing new for Alabama, right? They lose assistants, and a lot of them every year. But this seems like a big one in the recruiting department, at least, Browning.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guy, and a lot of people are going to point at the fact that he is Ryan Williams' lead recruiter. So, does Texas A&M potentially? I mean, that's awful late to be getting in the mix on this deal. Yeah, but I don't know that I would read a ton into that.
But if you're an Auburn fan, you would definitely read in that maybe that if it came down to Auburn, Alabama, which a lot of people think it is, that somehow maybe has pushed Auburn.
You say late in the game, a bag of money will soothe that a little bit.
What, Texas A&M?
Yeah,
that's worked well for them, by the way. It's just paying big recruits, but. I mean, if you're anybody else that wants Ryan Williams, Auburn, or anybody else, you hope this is a crack in the door that you could kick in. I'm sure his recruiting, it's impossible to intensify what is already going on. With that said, I think Holman Wiggins, obviously, you look at the wide receiver spot for Alabama, in his time there, it has not been great. I mean, there have been some great wide receiver classes. But over the last couple of years, you look at the wide receiver play, it has not been great. The guy is a dynamic recruiter. I personally believe, and I could be wrong about this, but I personally believe it is easier to replace dynamic recruiter than it is dynamic position coach.
I would agree.
I think the hardest thing to do is find the perfect combo. But right. I would like my odds, if I'm a Nick Saban or any other college coach, I would like my odds having to replace a dynamic recruiter over having to replace a position coach or a coordinator that is the best at what he does.
I could not agree with them more. I could not disagree with you more. The elite recruiter brings in a talent level that you don't have to coach it.
But I'm just saying, I think there are more of those. I think there are more.
I would agree. I think there's better recruiters than coaches.
I don't think so. I would rather have A+ recruiter who's a C on the field coach when it comes to assistants.
I'd rather
not coordinators, but assistants.
I'd rather have the combo. What you're saying is, obviously, if I have to pick one to sacrifice, I'd rather sacrifice the X's and O's.
Like if we're playing a Madden game, a style, or an EA Sports, and you have to build your coach, your on the field coach,
right?
And you have to, if you boost up his recruiting, his on the field skills go down, I would skew all the way A+, because when Holman Wiggins was a great wide receivers coach, when he had Devontae Smith and Waddle and all those guys, right? How good now? Does he look like a great on the field wide receiver coach right now? No. You know why? Because he doesn't have those other guys. When he looked like he was a great wide receiver coach? When he had those 4 first-round draft picks. So I'd rather have the recruiter.
Okay,
give me the Jimmy
so
and
you would rather have the Mario Cristobal.
No, not as head coach or coordinator. but we're talking about one of the rank and file assistants, the wide receiver coach.
I mean,
the
offensive line coach.
The offensive line coach.
He was well respected.
That's right. He was a hell of a recruiter. He was perfect to be on the staff. You can debate whether or not he'll ever be a good head coach.
Well, Holman Wiggins got to Tuscaloosa in 2019.
Right.
Receiving was good then. Receiving was good in 20, and that's where it started to drop off.
Right.
After Devontae Smith is where the receiver room in Tuscaloosa has started to drop off.
Because the talent started to drop off.
That's right.
Yeah.
And as Pritch Law says in the chat room, remember how excited Bama fans were to get Benson transferring in this past offseason and Harrell transferring in the offseason before. I mean, combined receptions for those two guys. Well, is it in the 20s?
Oh, no, I think it's lower than that.
It probably is. Probably in the teens or the single digits. I mean,
y'all can blast me all you want on this right here, but Alabama's receivers played above their skill set this year, in my opinion. Even
if they did, they played to a B level.
Yeah, but they can only play as good as they are, right? And I think they played above what this group has shown they were this year. Well, compared to last year, this group was a lot better until the semifinal game where they disappeared.
Yeah, well, I would just say that the staff is, I don't want to say swung and missed on receiver talent. It's just not what it once was.
For the record, to bring that full circle, Benson had 13 catches this year. Harrell had 2 last year. It is 15. Yep. So that's your 2 big transfer portal guys at receiver. After Jamison Williams, obviously, he was the big transfer portal guy. But your big transfer.
That was the last great receiver
that Alabama had?
Yep.
It was. I mean, you can't argue that. Now, I mean, that's not that terribly long ago. He played the 2021 season. But yeah, I mean, that's their 2 big portal guys at receiver, and those were swings and misses, you would have to say. And I thought Harrell was going to be a Jamison Williams type, where he was just a burner that was going to stretch the field for Alabama, and he never did that. Benson was the guy, though, that in all the Sugar Bowl practices, and Luganbill was not alone in this, but Luganbill was the first one to say it. Guys, he's tearing up the Sugar Bowl practice. Alabama's struggling to cover him in Sugar Bowl practices. He's the talk of practice. And then you talk to people that covered Alabama, and they're like, yeah, the coaches really, really like this guy. And it just, for whatever reason, didn't develop. And I'm not going to place all that at the feet of Holman Wiggins, but he is the receivers coach. So if your unit is not developing and if your unit is not living up to what they're supposed to, some of that's got to be on you, if not all of it.
So Holman Wiggins goes to Texas A&M, 5 years with Alabama, second best recruiter in the nation, 4 first-round draft picks. There's 2 openings now, I guess, or the openings continue to pop open for Alabama as they come back. But let me know if anybody in the chat room, as we tell you about Hemphill, saw the Get Up segment and know what they were talking about. I looked for it. I couldn't find it. Didn't see it. Tell us about Hemphill.
Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, cooling needs. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew. The guys at Hemphill, tell them the next round sent you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
We'll do the future conversation in the next segment. Talk about TV ratings, the state of the SEC, all that coming up over the next 2 hours, and Connor O'Gara, 4 downs, and, of course, trash from Las Vegas Resort World as we sit here in the doghouse, sports bar and sports book here.
You'd be a great Cleveland fan or Georgia fan.
I'd be horrible at both.
When I hear this play Dog House, all I think of is the Cleveland Dog House.
I do too.
Yeah.
Every time I hear it, I just envision that old, what was that, county stadium? Was that the name of it? Or Municipal Stadium.
Municipal Stadium.
Municipal Stadium.
Mistake by the lake.
In that end zone that seemed like it was, right there on top of the action.
And it seemed like it had a grass that built up to it.
I agree. And it was all those guys wearing those goofy dog faces.
Can you imagine?
Always bad weather.
If this year we have, because I've seen a lot of people do their top 5 power rankings. A lot of people have Cleveland in their top 5 right now, the way Flacco's playing in that defense. Yeah. Can you imagine if we had a Cleveland-Detroit Super Bowl?
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
Oh, my God.
I would love that.
I wouldn't mind it, if my team's not going to be
exactly, in it. Yeah, the fact that the Dolphins, which, they're probably not going to make it anyway. The fact that they're not in there would disappoint me, but I would have no problem watching Cleveland. Outside of that, Dolphins, Rams, Bucks not making it. Now, Rockstar would have a team in this thing. But, Rockstar, are you going? The game is out here. Do we need to scout this out for you if the Lions make it?
That would be a 100% negative. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it out for the game. Hopefully, I'll be able to watch some of it, though, just a little bit.
What would be the worst part for you coming to a Super Bowl? The crowds, the travel, the money you have to spend? I mean, what would it be?
I would do the all-encompassing, the everything, the lights, the people, the sounds, the crowd. It'd be a little too overwhelming for me.
I've never been to a Super Bowl. I can't imagine what it's like when a Super Bowl takes over a city. You've been to several, Lance. I mean, a Super Bowl takes over even the biggest city, right?
Yeah, like Houston. So people are going to be going, some people listening to us that are either Washington or Michigan fans, or they're just going to go. When I was in Houston for a Super Bowl, the roads were completely shut down, and that's
a massive city. Yeah.
I think it's number 3 in population.
Whereas I've been in L.A. and San Francisco Bay Area for a semifinal game and a college national championship where people there didn't even know the game was being played. I don't think you get that with the Super Bowl. I can't imagine it in this town. This town is already 9 times out of 10 bursting at the seams.
Yeah.
And now you're going to throw a Super Bowl in there.
And a lot of people like to be on one stretch of road.
Right.
The Strip. So
I can't imagine.
It gets
and this ticket will be the highest Super Bowl ticket in history.
Well, I've heard it's like, I don't know if this average price, get in, top end, whatever, $10,000 a ticket right now.
$10,000. So that's easy for you, Rockstar.
Yeah, that's right. Rockstar. All the above.
I think you should take Cord.
Yeah, you and Cord. Make a memory. All right.
Next little headphones on.
Before we head to break, there was a big quarterback portal news. Caden Salter from Liberty hit the portal. Important here because he was recruited by who? He's a Liberty quarterback. Hugh Freeze. Quarterback, a couple of years there with Hugh as the head coach. You think there's any interest in the Liberty quarterback in Auburn?
Well, I mean, he threw for, and Scott is showing you the graphic there if you're watching us, he threw for almost 3,000 yards, 32 touchdowns, but it's the dual threat nature. I mean, he's a almost 4,000 total yard guy and 44 touchdowns doing what he does. I mean, he brings a skill set that you understand why.
Caden Salter's good. This would be really ironic that we had Malik Willis go from Auburn.
Yeah, that's right.
To Liberty and play for Hugh Freeze.
Plays way into the NFL.
Much better. Yeah. Caden Salter could go from Liberty to Auburn with Hugh Freeze. And I think he's got a really good skill set.
4-star recruit coming out of high school. So that was a big get at Liberty for Hugh Freeze to begin with. I remember back when he committed and we were all like, well, Hugh can recruit a quarterback, can't he? Because he had a 4-star pick Liberty over other schools. So a good get there for Auburn. We'll see. It's a good get for somebody. He's in the portal now. Could be maybe Auburn in the mix or another SEC school. We'll keep an eye on that as we move forward. All right, when we come back, LT's Futures, what it's going to look like here in this very room, the Doghouse Sportsbook, the day after the national championship game, laying out the odds for next season. Also, we will talk about viewership in the national championship. The show being brought to you today by our friends at A+, the people that changed Brown and LT's bathrooms forever,
Jimmy D. They did. So here's the deal. A+ Tile Home Remodeling is who I'm about to tell you about. When my wife and I bought our house back in 2015, we immediately, when we looked at it, we're like, we're not crazy about the master bath. We just like the darker tones. Scott's showing you some photos. It was a little bit lighter in there, and it just needed updated, honestly. I mean, it's a house. They had been built a little bit before that. So it needed some updating, and we were going to do it. But you know what you do. You just focus on other things, kick the can down the road a little bit. But finally, Jennifer said, now is the time we're doing it. So she took to scouring the internet to find the best person to do it. She talked to contractors, people that had used contractors, read reviews. She picked Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. Now, what Brad did was he came in and said, you tell me what you want. We gave him a photo of, painted a picture in his mind because that's the bathroom you're going to have. It is the bathroom we have. In fact, Lance liked it so much. He's like, mine's a darker bathroom. I'd kind of like it to go brighter. And I was like, you need to call Brad. He'll do it because he's going to do it the exact way you want it done. And that's what he did for Lance. It's what he did for us. And I could not be happier. Here is his number, 205-422-1758. That is 205-422-1758. Master bath, kitchen, master bedroom, closet. Those are the 3 biggest things you can work on in your home if you want to enjoy it more or increase your resale value. Those happen to be the specialties for my man, Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. Here is his number. Anywhere in Alabama, he can work for you. 205-422-1758. Brad Bell, 205-422-1758.
More from Vegas. Wake up, Vegas. TNR's in town when we come back.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you ready to make this holiday season one to remember? Legacy Credit Union is here to make your dreams come true with their lifestyle loans. Whether you need a little extra cash for gifts or you want to take that unforgettable holiday vacation, Legacy has the right loan for you. With affordable monthly payments, flexible terms, and absolutely no collateral required, Legacy Credit Union is your trusted partner for your stress-free holiday season. Apply in minutes. Go to LegacyCreditUnion.com to get the financial support you need to enjoy the holidays to the fullest. Again, LegacyCreditUnion.com.
Some restrictions apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family, all at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
One thing I will say about Bo Nix, he's going to give the scouts every opportunity to evaluate him. He's going to stretch the college and NFL experience as far as he possibly can. Bo Nix today accepting an invitation to quarterback in the Senior Bowl coming up.
I think he's got to, man. I think he obviously going to Oregon increased his draft positioning, but he is far from a lock to be a first-round guy or a top 15 guy or something like that. I think he's got to impress.
Yeah, I would agree. I think sitting down with teams, I think they're going to love – well, they're obviously going to love the experience.
Yeah.
And the football IQ.
And the Senior Bowl is about the meetings with the teams, working with an actual NFL coaching staff, and the drills and all of that. I would be surprised.
Well, that's why I was so surprised Cam Ward is coming out, because this is the deepest quarterback draft I can ever remember.
Yeah.
You go back to 1983. I don't remember that really. That was that infamous quarterback draft where you had so many great.
I remember it, but people seem to have talked about it after the fact more than they did going into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody really built the draft up like they do now. And, it was fun 5 years later, 10 years later, reflecting back on that class, that draft. There was a 30 for 30 on it. But leading into it, you knew they were going to be good players, but I don't think anybody knew what they were going to become.
Yeah,
right?
I think this quarterback draft, I think you get 7 to 8 guys in the first round.
But it doesn't mean any of them are good.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you get 25% of your draft picks or quarterbacks in one round, that's crazy.
People are going to take some flyers because these are some big potential guys.
Well, and you look at the quarterbacks that are starting right now. You've
right.
got so many number 2s that are playing in the league.
Yeah, so there's probably a place for Bo in the first round if he can continue to impress.
No, I think he could be a first-round quarterback. Now, again, to Lance's point, how many teams are drafting quarterback in the first round? I mean, just off the top of my head, you said 7 or 8, and I'm trying to think, are there that many teams that are unsettled with their starter? And there probably are.
Yeah.
And they could still get out of the situation they're in without too much damage being done, to the future of their franchise. I mean, what the 49ers have accomplished and how many times you get to completely whiff on a top 5 quarterback draft pick and live to tell about it.
Yeah.
Not only are they living to tell about it, they're thriving having.
Well, think
whipped on
about it. Your favorites to play in the Super Bowl, the Ravens.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson, wasn't he the last pick of the first round?
I'd have to look. I mean,
I think he
Heisman
was.
Trophy winner.
And
He's in
then,
the 30s, though.
and then Brock Purdy, a guy that was Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, but I think Brock was a Senior Bowl guy. I think he went down there.
I think you're right.
And impressed who's the GM that played for my Bucks? Lynch, right?
Yeah, John Lynch.
Impressed him so much that they
used the last pick on him.
Yeah, instead of instead of letting him be a restricted free agent, they said let's bring this guy into camp.
Yeah, Lamar was picked 32 of the first round back in 18.
All right, show being brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Then we're going to pick LT's future brain. I don't know if it's the best morning to do this. We're going to pick what's left of his brain.
205-969-8100. That is the number you need to call. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. I got the procedure done more than 2 decades ago. Still have 2015 vision better than 2020.
I was supposed to remind you, we're riding through downtown LA yesterday.
That's right. You want to do this?
From far, far away. Well, we got a interview at the top, but your 2020 vision because of Michelson.
Well, it was like a ratty sports bar, but they had like
a ratty mural.
Yeah, they had done a ratty mural on the outside of the sports bar, and I was like,
from where Brown and I were sitting, we were like, oh, is that Kobe Bryant? A mural of Kobe over the door, and you said,
I said based on
the shot.
Yeah, the shot. I said it's Will Chamberlain.
Yeah.
And we were way off. And so when we went by, it was Will Chamberlain.
At the time, Lance said, when we pass this thing and I'm right, I want you next time I talk about Michelson to point out how good my vision was.
205-969-8100, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Okay, in a segment I'll call Slim Pickings on brainwaves today. Here is LT's on the future college football odds after we play the national championship game between Michigan and Washington, where LT thinks Washington wins the national championship.
Well, I haven't officially said that.
Okay.
I lean it.
And I think Michigan wins the national championship. And then the next day you get all the way too early top 25s. And here in Vegas, usually is a good day. They throw up college football national championship futures.
I can guarantee you the top 3. And probably in order. Outside of that, it gets a little cloudy.
Are all 3 of them SEC teams?
They are.
Yeah.
Okay, hit it.
It's going to be Georgia's going to be favorite to win it.
How big of a favorite?
Wow.
Very, very slim.
It's
right?
going to be kind of slim.
This is going to be pretty. This is going to be tighter than it has been in several years.
I think it's going to be.
Will you hold on to the Georgia talk real quick? Let me ask you, because this will be the thing in the chat room. If Georgia was playing Michigan or Georgia was playing Washington Monday night, would Georgia be favored in both?
Yes.
By how much?
Georgia would be a 2 to 3 point favorite over Michigan, and they would be a 7.5 point favorite over Washington.
But had Alabama beat Michigan, they would be favored over Washington, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it would have been 3.5,
yeah.
3.5.
Yeah, but to your point, they could start off as the betting favorite Tuesday to win the national championship, the team that is not here.
Yeah, I've got a feeling, and these will be short odds. No, they'll be a little bit, maybe plus 400, plus 500. But I would say Georgia, Alabama, Texas.
Yep. Heavy
SEC.
1,
2, 3.
Yeah. Who's the first non-SEC team at 4, you think?
Probably Ohio State.
Just by recruiting?
Just by recruiting and image and
yep,
helmet.
probably. We still don't know quarterback situation.
No, you don't, but you kind of, I mean, I say you trust Ryan Day. He did not get it right this year.
You don't think there's a little there's a chance that maybe Ole Miss is there?
They'll be top 10.
Number 4? No?
They'll be top 10.
Okay.
I really don't know after that because Washington loses so much.
Michigan
loses the top.
Even as we talked about yesterday, even passionate Michigan fans
I
are
mean,
saying this is it for us.
And Florida State had a great year,
right?
But they lose a ton.
They lose it. I think you saw that in the bowl game.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I'm with Lance. I don't know where you go after that.
There's an unknown with USC. Yeah. I feel like Oregon will be a top 10 team.
Do you think they'll be a little bit safer on national championship odds based on the fact that nobody's ever seen how a 12-team playoff plays out? So you'll just kind of you don't want to overexpose.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because in a lot of senses, you would think, well, it's not going to be any different for the top 4, right?
I think it will mirror more what you get with the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Connor O'Gara coming up here at the top of the hour. Can I just say this about our team back in Birmingham? Because when we go on these trips, whether it's here in the playoffs, whether it's SEC Media Days, which was in Nashville this past year, Dallas this upcoming year, coming up in July, not too far away it seems now, or Ocean City. For us to even make this happen on site, and a lot of credit to Brown for everything that happens here on site, because trust me, LT and I aren't setting up any of this. So thank you for always doing that publicly. I say it to you privately almost daily, but thank you for everything you do. But
he's the pig crew guy.
Yeah, but specifically for all these hard setups. We've seen the luggage, but everyone back in Birmingham that are back there making us stay on the air, and Forrester feeding me stuff, and Rockstar always contributing, and Tyler and Lunsford when he's not on a West Coast vacation, jinxing Alabama, and number 12 and Reed and Kelsey and Taylor and EG. Just it makes the whole thing work because of not just everyone out in the field, but more importantly, you see us, but everyone back at Birmingham that doesn't get to come out here and travel and sleep in 5-star hotels and get limoed around. And I'm making 98% of that up, but it's a fun job we have, and we couldn't do it without all of you guys back there. And we appreciate, and I know the viewers do too, all the hard work you put in. Everything you see on the air is a team effort, and we've enjoyed 2023 with this group, and we're looking forward to 2024. We've talked about it several times on this trip, what the potential for our little company is coming up this year.
Yeah, excited about that. Did you guys talk about dinner at all?
Are we already planning dinner tonight?
No, I'm talking about last night's dinner. Like,
no,
it went from the bread and the salad was so good.
Yeah.
And then the steak just disappointed.
Yeah. You know what's happened, right? Is we've gotten where we cook our steaks so well.
New York Butcher Shop.
And we get it from New York Butcher Shop that when we eat at some of the world's finest steakhouses, they disappoint. Speaking of which, tell us about New York Butcher Shop, and we'll get to Connor O'Gara coming up on the other side.
Rare quality, well-done service. Get it, CGM, and all the fine folks there. 2 locations, the original in Cabo Heights, one right there, Greystone, Highway 119. They've got a selection of great desserts, fine wines, obviously the best meats out there. Stop in, see Jim and the guys, New York Butcher Shop.
All right. Tell everybody in the chat room you appreciate them back in Birmingham. We are looking so forward to seeing them in person tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time. Connor O'Gara is next. We'll kick off hour number 2 from Las Vegas, the Resort World Dog House Sports Bar and Sportsbook. This is TNR.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. All the games, player props, great parlays, and all right there at mybookie.ag, right at your fingertips. And right now, you can get a special sign-on bonus when you make your initial deposit by using code NEXTROUND. That's mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND for that special sign-on bonus. mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag.
Make sure to start your day at nextroundlive.com. Get caught up on the latest podcasts and videos from the live daily show, plus specialty shows such as the Mystery Fifth Hour. You can also learn more about the whole staff at Double Down Media, find all of our social media feeds, see the latest videos from our YouTube channel and gaming channel, plus find other ways to consume the show like the Next Round mobile app, which you can download direct from the site via your iOS and Android device. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage and stay up to date with everything from us here at the Next Round.
It's time to start thinking about employee holiday gifts. Consider getting your hardworking guys a pair of Red Wing boots. Each day your employees are on the job site helping your company succeed, so reward them with comfort at its best. The Red Wing mobile shoe truck can visit your shop and fit your employees with a great selection of boots. Or Red Wing gift cards can be purchased at your local Red Wing store, available in all amounts. Whichever program you choose, your employees will appreciate the quality, service, and selection from Red Wing shoes, and they'll also be thankful they have such a great boss. Reward your employees this holiday season with Red Wing shoes. Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. In MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Want more of the Next Round? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, the Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, back in Vegas, the Doghouse Sports Bar and Sports Book. We'll talk more about the future of college football and the state of the SEC a little bit later in the show. But as we get rolling here, I remind you the show is being brought to you in part by our friends at Weight of Wellness, your journey to healthy living in 2024. When it's time for you to start thinking about weight loss, which for me is tomorrow, and then when it's time to start eating healthy after a long road trip, for me, that's tomorrow. I'll go back to our friends at Weight of Wellness. Leslie and her board-certified team will take care of me just like she will you. No contracts, no sign-up fee, and the first consultation is free. So find out about a great way to lose weight and get healthier in 2024 without costing you any money to start with. Just find out the details by going to this website at planforme.com. Planforme.com. It's Weight of Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
All right, Connor O'Gara is our buddy with Saturday Down South. He joins us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline as we continue here in Vegas. What is up, Connor? How are you, my friend?
Gentlemen, doing well. I feel like I should be asking you the same question. How are we doing post Rose Bowl trip? Some of us I see left early at halftime, but it seems like you guys are a bit drained after a long trip out west.
Yes. Do you want to respond to leaving at halftime? I believe that might have been directed at
you. You know what, Connor? Have you been to a Rose Bowl? I would just ask you that.
No, I haven't. So I'm like legitimately curious because when you kind of break down some of the factors and seeing you guys just sit there in traffic, I can see why it would be a headache, and it's why as you know, Ryan talked about, I would push back on anybody that says it has to be the national championship site moving forward.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that line of thought, and our buddy Klatt is big on it. I get that. Herb Street is big on it, and I love both those guys and love Connor. Their passion for college football. They love the sport as much as I do, and I'm fine with anybody that loves college football as much as I do. I just think and it's interesting with Klatt because I think he and his family went. Now, did they sit in suites or were they in stand? He's on the show tomorrow, so we can ask him about
They look like pretty good seats.
But Herb Street, who is fantastic. I love Kirk, but you know, Kirk's got to remember he gets the police escort in. He gets the behind-the-scenes treatment. He gets walking around out on the field before the game. He gets escorted to the elevator. He gets to go to the TV booth, which is the best seat in the house with plenty of space in your own bathroom and all the food and drink you want and or need. That is a different experience than the average fan, and it is very easy for us, and I would include myself in this, Connor, to sit in our ivory towers like that and say, this is what is best for college football, when it may not in fact be.
Atlanta seems so much better. I've talked to Gary Stoken about that. I said, if you want to make the case for having the permanent site for a national championship, look, Atlanta is great because you can get in and out of it. It is so much more built for the modern fan with the things that they've done to Mercedes-Benz. And I'm biased because obviously it's a quick flight for me down here in Orlando. But look, anybody that says, "Oh, it's got to be the Rose Bowl," I would agree with all those points you just mentioned, because it seems like a nightmare. As much as I want to see it and it's a bucket list thing, I guess I can understand why someone would leave at halftime of, just the biggest game of the year.
Oh, it's
not going to let up, is he?
It was overtime too.
Yes,
it should be the Rose Bowl, Connor, if they could move it to a sunny place in Middle America on January 1st, build a whole new stadium, keep that same grass, and bring the San Gabriel Mountains with them and plant it centrally located.
Yeah.
I can't imagine playing it out west, where most of the college football contenders and their fans have to spend thousands of dollars to travel out and watch the national championship game every year. It would not be it wouldn't be suited. It'd be like running the Daytona 500 in Seattle.
But Connor, to your point too, like I had somebody argue with me on Twitter after I tweeted that with Herb Street, that it should be there. They've got the LA and Pasadena have the infrastructure to handle this. I'm like, infrastructure? Shit. There's 3 2-lane roads in the middle of a neighborhood going into that stadium.
And there's traffic in LA at 2 a.m.
They do it there in spite of the infrastructure. It actually does not have the infrastructure to do it. They ignore that and do it there because of the beauty of the setting and the history of the stadium, which I don't want to diminish, Connor. And I do love that it feels more like college football than Atlanta or Dallas or anywhere like that. But at some point, you can't have exactly everything. You're going to have to sacrifice some things.
They'll keep moving it around. That's my guess. They're going to keep moving around. There's so much money to be made for it. And I think that they're going to want to continue to do this. I know there have been a lot of people that push back on my love of the great city of Indianapolis. I'm very biased. I went to Indiana. My wife is from Indianapolis, grew up 15 minutes south of downtown. I thought that was a great host for a national championship. There's a reason why they host Final Fours. Would love to see places like that continue to get it. Yeah, too cold. But for those who sit up,
it was that weekend.
It was that weekend. But for those of us that sit on our ivory towers, right? That's what we're talking about here. You can get from the media hotel to the stadium by walking through the convention center tunnel and never having to go outside. So if you stay at the media hotel or like the main fan hotel, the Marriott there, you actually have a pretty direct path to never have to go outside.
And
which, by the way, is very fitting for a lot of media people who hate to go outside.
There's no doubt. But Indianapolis, I will say this for Indianapolis, they actually have a pretty sophisticated tunnel and walkway system where you can pretty much circumnavigate the downtown entertainment district without ever going outside. That is one thing I will give Indianapolis credit for.
Many things. Just a great middle America city, just nothing.
We're talking to an Indiana guy. For those that don't know, that's Connor's background.
Hey, for the record, Connor, I liked both Michigan and Washington to win those games. But what was more surprising to you, Michigan win or the Washington win?
I'm gonna say the Washington win because, man, I was wrong on both fronts. I picked both Texas and Alabama rematch the 2009 national championship, so I was wrong on both fronts. But I think Washington was more surprising because of the fact that, I thought Texas had the profile of a national championship team. If you kind of do the breakdown of the efficiency against the run, if you look at the talent composite rankings, if you look at what you need at quarterback, all these different things, I thought Texas checked that box in so many different ways. Whereas Washington, what they are at this point of the season. And I wondered how much have they played with fire. The fact that all their games have been decided by 10 points or less since September 23rd. This team that I've compared to TCU last year has not looked like a team that has been, necessarily caught in that moment, a 65-7. And that's going to be the question going into the national championship is, have they been playing with fire or is this the team of destiny? But yeah, I think them winning the way that they did against Texas and seeing all those mismatches on the outside that they were able to exploit, that to me was a little bit more surprising than Michigan as a favorite winning that game.
Is our friend Vern Funquist running around with his hair on fire that not only is not Alabama in the championship game, but there's no SEC team in the championship game?
I haven't touched base with him other than a text here or there. I keep my distance after an Alabama loss. For those that don't know, Chris Marler, who is the biggest Alabama fan that I have ever met, even bigger than you, Dunaway. He absolutely.
Technically, he's bigger than Kristen Saban, I think. Yes,
I think he is. I won't comment any further on that, but I do think that this is an Alabama program that has given him so many positive moments, and so I hope that when I am hosting the Betting the Bulls podcast that we're doing later today, that he will be in better spirits. I've seen him at the lowest of lows post Alabama loss. I've seen him, at the highest of highs post Alabama win. So I think he will be in okay spirits, and I think that he will be able to spin it as a positive for the SEC. Let's remember, last time the SEC got left out of a national championship was 2014 after Alabama loses in the semifinal Ohio State. What happens after that? I mean, the SEC does nothing but play in national championships. I think that the conference is still in a good place when you're going once every 9 years with, missing out on a national championship berth like what we've seen 2005, 2014, and now 2023. I think that's a sign that the conference is doing just fine and the sky isn't falling.
Connor O'Gara is with us. At CJ O'Gara is where you follow him on Twitter. Read him at Saturday Down South. Also follow him on Twitter for the podcast like he's talking about there with our buddy Vern Funquist and all the stuff he does. He is on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. If you were starting Connor O'Gara University there in beautiful Indianapolis or Orlando now that you live, because even you said it's too cold in Indianapolis, I'm going to move to sunny Florida. You're starting that. You've got unlimited budget. You can hire either one of these two coaches and get a guarantee you're going to get time out of them. They're not going to bail for another job. Would you go Kalen DeBoer or Jim Harbaugh?
Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer. Now, again, I'm going to sound biased as an Indiana grad because that's obviously where he kind of, had his big break and was so good when Michael Penix Jr. was healthy. But the things that he's done starting off at Washington, it's incredible. And I think that we view Washington a lot of different lenses because they've had a lot of different identities throughout really the 21st century as a whole. And you can even go back and read a great book, Scoreboard Baby, wherein it kind of documents Rick Neuheisel and the issues that he was facing as this team with massive expectations. And you've seen the ebbs and flows of the program. And I think we forget about what Kalen DeBoer inherited from Jimmy Lake when they're trying to replace a legend in Chris Peterson in what it looked like. And man, the job that he's done so quickly with the hits in the portal, even Dylan Johnson. I mean, I think we take that for granted. And we were talking about it a lot when he went down late in that game. Hopefully it looks like he's going to be able to play in the national championship somehow, but he's a backup running back in Mississippi State that they turned into a star. All these different guys on the outside that they've been able to find, the scouting is second to none. Development of talent is second to none. Kalen DeBoer is just one of these guys that just shows you, hey, it doesn't matter if you come from a smaller school. Good football coaches are good football coaches, and they can win. The Chris Klymans of the world, Lance Leipold's, like these guys need to be getting more credit. Kalen DeBoer is a guy that I would take right now for the longevity factor, knowing that it feels like Harbaugh is just going to be flirting with the NFL every single year.
Yeah, I think he's a great coach, but I mean, think about the quarterback situation right now. And you mentioned Penix playing at Indiana. And there were ups and downs there, but the way Penix is playing right now, I mean, he looks like Dan Marino.
LT, it's incredible. I did not think, even as somebody who watched a lot of Penix at Indiana, that he was going to turn into even an all-conference player at Washington. I questioned if he was going to consistently move the football down the field and if he could stay healthy. That was the biggest question. I mean, all the season-ending injuries that guy endured in Bloomington, and then to be this guy that has not only been this good, but just to be as durable as he's been. He's played every game for them. I mean, they have won 20 consecutive games. I didn't think he'd have a stretch in his career where he'd be able to play 20 consecutive games. And he's been able to put on the weight necessary to be able to play at this level, play consistently, and be a pocket passer too in an offense that has done such a great job of protecting him. But there are a lot of times where he's a sitting duck and teams can pin their ears back and get to him, and his pocket presence is second to none. It's a phenomenal story. It's been awesome to see what he's become.
I've done this for a couple of days now, so I'll ask you too. Any any reporting, grumblings? Are you following? Is there any buzz to anything around Nick Saban? If you had to bet right now, you expect him back next season?
I think he's back. I wrote about this before the playoffs started because I thought that there was a little bit of the chatter. Could he walk off after winning a national title? I don't know. Maybe you guys would have a better gauge at this than I would. I just think that Saban would prefer to have some sort of succession plan. And instead of signing a top ranked recruiting class like he just did, and then saying to all these recruits who could now transfer, obviously without the restrictions, to be able to say, oh, I'm actually not going to be your head coach when you don't have that assistant that you would promote from within. I just don't think it'll go down like this. And I don't necessarily think that I have a great idea what it's going to look like, that ending, but I just feel like there's going to be more of a succession plan in place for Saban when that time comes. I don't think that he's going to coach until he's 85 or something like that, or even until he's 80, like, we've seen Bear Bryant or Joe Paterno do. It's a different sport. Obviously Bobby Bowden, it's a different sport now with the year-round calendar, but I just think that he's still going to be back. I think he's going to have at least a few more years left in him.
Connor O'Gara, Saturday down south, a few more moments with him on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline as we continue for the Doghouse at Resorts World here in Vegas. And I mention that because to our right is a massive wall of odds on everything. I mean, NFL, college football, all that thing to our right here. And we were just discussing the fact that when on that board, the preseason odds to win next year's national championship comes out, in all likelihood, it's going to include a brand new SEC team and 3 SEC teams overall, Alabama, Georgia, and Texas in some sort of order, which is probably going to be difficult for a lot of people to swallow across the country.
I thought you were going to ask me if I have a national championship pick already. And I was about to laugh you guys off of this interview.
We'll do that next visit.
Well, yeah. Just give me at least until the middle of January to come up with a national championship.
Okay.
Here's a crazy thought, and I've been thinking about this for the last week and a half, really since Ole Miss won that bowl game. So I guess over the weekend, and it was something that Reese Davis talked about. Like if Ole Miss beats Penn State, then preseason top 5 for Ole Miss, something that they haven't been since 1970, the great Gerald Ford administration. Look, I think that there is a world in which the SEC could have the top 4 teams in the AP poll in the preseason. I really think that's possible. If Ole Miss is ended up at number 4, something like that, maybe Texas 3, and then some variation of Georgia and Alabama at 1, 2. I don't think that's crazy. And then you throw Mizzou in the mix. Is the SEC going to have 5 of the preseason top 7 teams? A lot of it's going to depend on the Harbaugh thing, JJ McCarthy. Obviously, we were waiting on a decision from Quinn Ewers. Texas is going to lose a lot of pieces, so kind of TBD on that. But if you're selling yourself on hope for the SEC moving forward, I think it kind of starts with realizing that the conference is set up for a lot of success next year, especially as we expand to the 12-team playoff.
Connor, I agree. I mean, I said earlier, I think Ole Miss is going to be definitely a top 10 preseason team. So does this mean going into the season, Ole Miss fans, if they don't go to a college football playoff next year, it's a disappointing season?
Yes, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they would have been there this year, and this is a team next year where I don't know where they're going to rank when Bill Connolly does his percentage of returning production, a great metric that is really, it's really indicative of improvement, year-to-year improvement. Mizzou was number 2 in those final rankings that he came out with in August. Kansas was the number 1 team. I think Michigan was top 5 as well. And I think Ole Miss is going to be really high in those rankings, but it's also the portal additions. I mean, they've added all SEC caliber talent in the portal with Princely Emmanuel and Juice Wells on the outside, Tyler Barron, a guy that I love, Chris Paul Jr., the linebacker from Arkansas, just dudes on dudes, Walter Nolan, former number 1 overall recruit. I mean, Lane has done such a tremendous job of being able to dip into the portal and get these guys. It is such a win now team. Now, obviously, the fact that he hasn't beat Saban, the fact that they just got smoked against Georgia. If you're saying that you think Ole Miss is going to win a national championship, I'd push back on that. But I do think that it is playoff or bust for Ole Miss in 2024.
They are definitely going to be the sexy offseason team.
Yep.
Well, we're going to hear a lot of Ole Miss in this offseason, Connor, and I'm not saying it's unwarranted.
Right. Helped out today by the fact that Jackson Dart officially makes it that he's coming back.
Yeah, Lane had said that weeks ago.
Well, the sexy team coming into this season was Florida State, and they lived up to expectations.
They paid it off, but Connor, that is going to be the sexy national pick is Ole Miss.
Yeah, I agree. That last year, Florida State was my ultimate good vibes team of the offseason. Ole Miss is that in a landslide this year. And look, Florida State did what it set out to do. It went 13-0, and that's separate from the playoff discussion, but they did live up to that. And I saw them in that opener here in Orlando. I was like, dang, I probably should have picked them to win the ACC and go to the college football playoff. I don't think it's fair to say that Ole Miss should be, the favorite to win the SEC or anything like that. But does Ole Miss have the upside to get to an SEC championship, to make it to a college football playoff? Yes, I think those things are on the table, despite the fact that I'll continue to bring up the stat about Lane. He was 1-19 this year against Power 5 teams that won at least 9 regular season games. He got 2 wins in that area this year by beating LSU, by beating Penn State in the bowl game. So he's now 3-21 in that department. Make of that what you will. But yeah, there's going to be so much buzz for Ole Miss this offseason.
All right, he is Connor O'Gara. Go follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. Read him at Saturday Down South. Watch all of his videos. Like his content like you do ours. He's a good dude and does a great job with it. Connor, thank you very much for the time, man. Happy New Year, and we look forward to catching up with you a lot more this year.
Gentlemen, appreciate it. Safe travels.
All right, buddy. Take care. Connor O'Gara with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline right there as we continue in Vegas.
Show number 610 being brought to you in part by our friends at mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag. We've talked a little bit about the futures. You can bet those there. You can even play, as little T taught me, blackjack on the website, mybookie.ag. I haven't done it, but she apparently.
Look, I had a buddy that got smoked at roulette the other night on mybookie.ag.
Yeah. You can play it right there. They've got casino games at mybookie.ag. They've got a super contest right now. Here, I'm gonna see how this works. I haven't even looked at this. I just saw it on their website right here. It is a super contest. You pick 5. It's an entry fee of $10. Okay, you got me here. So far, $10. Select 5 games against the spread. So this is all the NFL games in Week 18, right? You earn points, 1 for a win, a half point for a push, and you could possibly win $10,000. That's a fun little contest. You never know.
Basically, instead of the pick 3, it's the pick 5.
Yeah, pick 5, and heck, you could win 10
small lottery ticket.
Yeah, that's right. That right there at mybookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on. At mybookie.ag, you make your initial deposit. They give you a deposit match, and you can use it right away and win big at mybookie.ag.
How much was that to get in?
That's 10? When you use code next round, $10 to get in it. Oh, wow. So, I mean, like when you make a deposit, your bonus could be $10. It's probably going to be more than that. And you say, all right, I'm just going to spend that $10 right there. Boom, you're in. And you can win $10,000.
Yeah.
Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round.
How about that, Taylor? We taught you something today.
That's right.
Maybe you'll do that this weekend.
In their little graphic, they're just showing what, your 5 teams could be. One is the Rams, one is the Buccaneers, and one is the Buffalo Bills.
Against the Dolphins. Hey, we'll get into some NFL talk when we come back. Here from the Doghouse and more college football. And we'll talk some about the national championship game coming up as well. One interesting note in history today. I told you it was 17 years ago today that Nick Saban arrived in Tuscaloosa as the Alabama's head coach. What a big moment in history.
Can't be a more interesting note in history than that.
Can't believe it's not a holiday.
Yeah.
But on this day in 1973, LT, is it good if I buy something for $10 million and now it's valued at $7.1 billion?
Yeah, it's a good ROI. Yes.
Yeah, I buy it for $10 million.
Okay.
And now it's worth $7.1 billion.
Yeah. Now you've had it for a long time to get to that number, but boy, you've cashed in along the way. Yes.
1973 on this day is when George Steinbrenner bought the New York Yankees. It is I can't even imagine that the Yankees were worth that you could buy them for just $10 million.
That is really hard to believe. That is really hard to believe that there was a time where you could have bought them for that price.
Yeah, but think about it. That was pre-television contracts.
Yeah.
Or big ones.
Big ones.
Yeah. It was, but I know the number roughly it took for us to start our own thing. And that the New York Yankees was $10 million.
Okay, so what do you
between us and the New York Yankees?
What do you think would have been more hard to believe in 1973? The Yankees would be worth that much, or that a head football coach, college coach, can make over $10 million?
That's right. That's a great point. That a college coach in 1 year making enough money now
Because who was the
what
top
the
eight?
Yankees were bought for in 1973?
73 was probably Bear Bryant, right?
Bear Bryant, Ara Parsegian were 1-2.
Maybe John McKay out at USC. I don't know, but yeah.
But what were they making? 100,000?
Oh, if
Oh,
that.
Bear Bryant had it. He never wanted to make more than the school president. Now he was making it at Coca-Cola and Golden.
Oh
Plate
my gosh, making a fortune
and
on the
all
side.
of that. But I think, for some reason, $212,000 a year, I think was Bear Bryant's highest salary. I think that was it.
Chris H. is giving you another interesting note in history. Yesterday, the 35th anniversary of Notre Dame's last football national championship.
No, 35 years.
That's what Chris says. I haven't independently confirmed.
Well, it was
So that was
1988.
Yeah, against Colorado? Was that the game? No. Colorado won that game.
No.
Who did they beat? Was it West Virginia? Was it Tony Rice? They beat West Virginia.
Major Harris
out of the
Maybe.
Fiesta Bowl. Was that their last national championship?
I'll tell you this. I cannot envision Notre Dame in the future winning a national championship. Like, I can envision a lot of these different teams.
Well, I tell you, I don't know. I mean, they're going to get some home playoff games. They're never going to get a bye. That's the weird thing about this is Notre Dame has agreed to enter a system where they never get a bye. Like, I understand that correctly, right?
Yeah. Right
Let's-
now, for 2 years, the way
Yeah.
it is set up is that Notre Dame cannot be a conference champion, so they can't be one of the top 4 seeds. So the highest they can be ranked is 5, which would be hosting an on-campus first-round game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I think they'll do that some.
Well, I won't even mention the obvious, but if I brought up Washington over Notre Dame, right?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Missouri?
What
right
what are you
now,
asking me?
at this point, with the
No,
roster,
I'm just talking about better chance in the next 10, 15 years of winning a national
Ooh,
championship.
I don't know if I go Missouri.
I don't know, but next year's Missouri team is going to be better than,
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah,
at
I
least
would
on
agree.
the same level then. Interesting. We'll continue all this football talk. Show being brought to you in part by our friends at Harbin's Outdoors. Tell us about Harbin's, and we'll get more conversation on the other side here in Vegas. Harbin's, man, a great way to change the look of your home.
Yeah, Harbin's one-stop shop. Anything you need. Again, the backyard was an eyesore for me, so Jeremy is the man that I called. Did a fantastic job. You can view their work online right now. Go to Instagram at Harbins_outdoors. You can check it out right there. Again, from the ceramic pools, landscaping, hardscaping, Jeremy and his team, one-stop shop for all of those landscaping needs. Again, at Harbins_outdoors.com.
Auburn wins last night 88-68 over Penn. UAB beats UTSA to start their American Conference schedule. UAB 1-0 now in the AAC. Butta Johnson with a game winner there with time running out down at Bartow. UAB gets the win there. Good weekend coming up with SEC play cranking up as well. And today, Under Armour All-Star Game, our buddy Luganville in Orlando. That game goes at 3 o'clock on ESPN. A couple of big-time recruits are coming into the SEC, including a playmaker in the defensive backfield. I think, or was it a receiver that was making plays? Where's Coleman play? He's a receiver,
Cam
right?
Coleman?
Yeah,
he's a receiver.
Receiver. Unbelievable catch yesterday. Under Armour practice. You can see him in action with some of the other great signees. Under Armour All-Star Game, 3 o'clock today on ESPN. We're back to Vegas after this.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the next round hosts a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, presented by Redmont Vodka. LT has in-depth conversations with personalities like Clay Travis and Taylor Hicks. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple and Spotify. And remember to like and subscribe.
When it comes to great clothing, I love comfortable clothing that I can also wear to the golf course or anywhere I go. I get that from Roback. Ryan Brown here for The Next Round. Whether it is the softest hoodies you'll ever find, they're great quarter zips, the polos, the pants, the crew necks, you can get them all at Roback.com, and we're helping you save. Your first order at Roback.com can get a 20% discount when you use code TNR20. That is Roback.com, code TNR20 for 20% off your initial order at Roback.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. All the games, player props, great parlays, and all right there at mybookie.ag, right at your fingertips. And right now, you can get a special sign-on bonus when you make your initial deposit by using code NEXTROUND. That's mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND for that special sign-on bonus. mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
When it comes to great clothing, I love comfortable clothing that I can also wear to the golf course or anywhere I go. I get that from Rhoback. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Whether it is the softest hoodies you'll ever find, they're great quarter zips, the polos, the pants, the crew necks, you can get them all at Rhoback.com, and we're helping you save. Your first order at Rhoback.com can get a 20% discount when you use code TNR20. That is Rhoback.com, code TNR20 for 20% off your initial order at Rhoback.com.
Back with you to Las Vegas as we continue on today. Some NFL conversation coming up in our four downs in just a second. The show being brought to you by our wonderful friends at Redmont Vodka. We got some big things happening early in 2024 with our friends at Redmont.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Redmont Vodka available in 22 states. I'm not sure if it's available in Nevada. Maybe I should know that. I know it was in California. It's gluten-free. It's 8 times distilled, locally owned and operated. Charles Barkley, one of the great guys behind Redmont Vodka. Pick up a bottle today of Redmont Vodka.
Rockstar, give me cut number one, if you will. Auburn wins in basketball last night, and Janai Broome is a guy who had 24 and 12, a double-double. They beat Penn, and now they get ready for SEC play, a big one on the road at Arkansas this weekend. And Auburn's offense really plays a inside out, outside in, either way you look at it, really good pace. And Janai, as conference play starts this weekend, last night had an opportunity to talk about that. So here's Janai Broome right here on the next round.
How much farther do you think you guys have to go? I guess how much potential do you think this offense has?
Like you said, these last couple games, we just look like a whole new team. After that App State loss, I think everybody just kind of locked in. Not even on offense, more on defense. Because our defense has been creating our offense in a way. We got a lot of fast break points, and everybody plays better when they're playing better defense. Making more shots, and it just carry on.
So Auburn on the road at Arkansas, 11 a.m. this weekend, ESPN2 Auburn Network. On the Crimson Tide Sports Network around 12:30, Alabama and Vandy on the SEC Network as SEC play starts this weekend. Really early sign before we do four downs, Rockstar. An early sign about the writers' strike and how it's impacting primetime television. We're starting to see it tonight. What is it? It's a Wednesday night. Just a random Wednesday night, 7:30 tonight on ABC.
Yeah.
Bulls and Knicks.
So we got just a random
Wednesday night on ABC.
Right.
Bulls and Knicks. Not Michael Jordan's Bulls. Not Patrick Ewing's Knicks. Knicks are playing okay. Bulls are But
when's the last time they did a movie of the week?
They do it every Sunday night. I know that.
Do they still?
Yeah.
I think they've had to crank it back up because of the writers.
That I don't know, but I just know every Sunday night when we're taping The Zone at 3340, one of the screens has the live ABC feed on it, and It's always a movie of the week. It's normally a Disney movie, obviously.
Yeah, but isn't that Rockstar? I mean, you follow entertainment like LT does. You look at the viewing menu back in the day every day, and every time we kept talking about the strike, we knew eventually it was going to catch up to us. It seems like they're taking a lot of game shows and putting them in prime time too, aren't they?
They're putting a lot of game shows, and also I noticed the other night, Hulu, which is owned by Disney, ABC, Hulu started playing last night Only Murders in the Building, like a 4-episode marathon on ABC. So they're trying to move streaming programming into live programming because they have nothing to promote. They have nothing to show.
They did that with Yellowstone on CBS.
Yep.
Yeah, they started back in the beginning of Yellowstone. So,
but what's crazy is
do they keep the language?
I don't know. I never watched it. I mean, I watched it on stream. I've never watched the CBS version.
What's crazy watching the NFL on CBS and Fox is some of the stuff that they show on TV now blows my mind. Especially Fox. Fox, Rockstar, I don't know if you've seen this. Maybe watching the Lions game you have on Fox, but I think it was Christmas Eve, Dolphins and Cowboys on Fox. Yeah, it was Christmas Eve. Dolphins, Cowboys on Fox. I'm watching Fox's big new show is they take a celebrity and they ask a family member of that celebrity to sing a song, and you have to guess who the celebrity is. Have you seen the promos for that, Rockstar?
No, but that's a good idea. I'm looking at my notes. I had that one written down as a cool idea, so I got to get rid of that one.
No, I've seen it.
That's awful.
I think it's called Family Affair or something like that. I mean, I'm like,
Anthony Anderson is the host.
Of course he is.
From the makers of Masked Singer, I believe.
But how in the hell could you even come close to
like
that?
some random person walks out and you're like, I tell you what, I think you're Shakira's cousin.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you? I don't understand why anybody would watch that on television. But they were promoting the heck out of it on Fox.
Not a lot of programming out there right now. We got 4 Downs brought to you by our friends at Slice. Great place for lunch and dinner. Tell us about Slice.
4 great locations: the original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park. Local pizza, local ingredients from the Hot Mama all the way to the Soul Pie, the Bajalia Special. Get in, see Jason and Chris Bajalia. Tell them the next round sent you.
First down.
I'll start with the NFL. If I said you get 49ers and Ravens to win the Super Bowl or the field, which way do you go?
I'm going 49ers Ravens.
I thought the bet was always field.
Not in this case. I would, of course, I say that, and I just went, and I just purchased.
This was the old setup.
Yep.
I purchased a ticket right here at the Doghouse Saloon Sportsbook. I took my Rams plus 35 to 1 to win the Super Bowl.
Why not?
Why not?
If you lose that physical ticket right there, is it done?
It's done.
So they don't have it in the system that you can ever.
Nope.
So that piece of paper right there becomes very valuable in the event.
Yeah.
Just like a lottery ticket.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody in this this town sooner or later has had their safe broken into, and these tickets have been stolen and cashed in probably.
Yeah. I normally go Phil Dunaway. And the one thing I've learned about the NFL playoffs, I think rarely does it go exactly like we think it's going to go. That said, who in the NFC scares you?
Well, the only thing I would say, if Brock Purdy pulls one of these 4 interception games, anybody can beat San Francisco.
I mean, you have the Cowboys.
Can't win on the road.
Yeah, but you have the Cowboys that are playing pretty good.
Yeah, but they can't win on the road.
I mean, I hate to be a homer here, but I think the kind of wild card picks right now in the NFC, I would say, are the Rams. In the AFC, I would go. And Buffalo might win the East.
They could win the East. I mean,
or the Browns. People are talking up the Browns, but the Rams in their last 7 games, 6-1. They're 1 loss in overtime on the road at Baltimore.
But Dunaway, you say the Cowboys are playing well right now. They are a botched call from being 0-3 over their last 3. At Buffalo, at Miami, and at home against the Lions. If the NFL doesn't screw that up, if the officials don't screw that up at the end, they're 0-3 over the last 3 games right now, and I would be panicked as a Cowboys fan.
Oh, I'd be shocked if the Cowboys won a Super Bowl.
I would too.
Okay, that's it's a great point by you. I apologize for that comment.
Please don't let it happen.
Let's do second down.
Second down.
Best team you think will be left out of the NFL playoffs?
The Seahawks.
You think the Seahawks?
Yeah, because they've got to win. They've got a tough game. Arizona has no talent, but they play hard. They've got to win there. They're only a 3-point favorite, and even if they win there, if Green Bay wins, they're out.
You know what's crazy? This is crazy because a lot of people think this team could play in the Super Bowl. If Miami could find a way to beat Buffalo and Pittsburgh beats Baltimore, who's resting a lot of guys, you know who's in and who's out there, right?
Buffalo's out.
Buffalo's out and Pittsburgh's in. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, that would be by far the best team.
Yeah, because a lot of people think Buffalo could actually win this whole thing or at least get there or be in the AFC Championship game. There is a chance Sunday, and that's not crazy outcomes. I mean, that's Miami winning a home game over Buffalo, and that's Pittsburgh playing Baltimore, who's resting a ton of guys. Pittsburgh's the road favorite in that game in Baltimore.
Yeah, as soon as I say that it would shock me if Dallas won a Super Bowl, I would not be shocked at all if Buffalo wins one.
Yeah, or misses the playoff.
Or
that
misses the playoff.
That wouldn't shock you either. I mean, that's not that shocking, right, that they missed the playoff.
Whoa.
It's
based
shocking.
on the scenario.
No.
But going into the season
Right,
and
right.
based on this team.
Yeah, overall it's
Yeah,
shocking,
yeah.
but based on what you know for Sunday, it's not going to blow you away if they miss the playoffs.
Third down.
Third down.
Kenny Pickett, has he burned the bridges? Do you think he is ever the full-time starter in Pittsburgh again? For those that have not followed the story, there were reports that he now denies that he refused to suit up last week to be the backup quarterback. And it outraged Steeler fans everywhere on that report. He has come out yesterday and says the report is not true. I was a physical scratch.
Yeah, boy, if that is true, I don't know. I hope it's not true. I mean, I think he's got the talent. Again, we hadn't been able to really see it. Not a ton of weapons. Frymuth is good. George Pickens is good. The offensive line hasn't been good. I'm going to lean that story got over-sensationalized, and he will be the full-time starter.
But
are you not looking with this draft, Brownie? Are you not looking possibility at a quarterback?
If he can go out hurt, Lance, and I can still make the playoffs, how do I feel about him? Because it wasn't like they had built this huge lead in their division, and then he goes out hurt and they slide into the playoffs. His backups have come in and in a lot of ways played better.
I don't think he's ever going to be an elite quarterback, but I mean, is he the better option?
I've seen speculation of Russell Wilson there. I mean, would that interest you if you're a Steelers fan, you think, to get late career Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
Who at times looked like normal Russell Wilson this year.
I thought he was better than advertised this year with that elite defense. Yeah.
Mike Tomlin, though, by the way, did it again.
It's crazy.
17 straight years now of a non-losing record. He has got 9 wins, so he cannot have a losing record. Only 2 people went longer with a non-losing record in the NFL. You know them?
Oh, my word.
I would say Tom Landry and Don Shula.
Tom Landry and Bill Belichick.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Tom Landry, longtime Dallas Cowboys coach, did it for 20 years, 21 seasons, I think, 1965 through 1985, right? And then Bill Belichick did it from 2001 to 2019 for Bill Belichick there.
We were doing a show when Sean McVay was named the head coach of the Rams, youngest head coach in NFL history. In 7 years now, he's been to the postseason 5 times and 2 Super Bowls. That's strong.
That is strong.
Yeah, and I know Mike Tomlin catches some criticism from Pittsburgh fans. That's an amazing stat, number one. And if he can find a way to get this team into the playoffs, that's a pretty good coaching
Best
job.
coaching job.
Yeah.
Let's do 4th down.
4th down.
National championship game Monday. How many points does the winning team have? Their total in the game. The winning team.
It's and I know when people say it's a great question, it's kind of a crutch to give you time to think.
Yeah, Jim, fantastic.
But I think it really is based on this. I think Michigan's defense is elite, but Washington's offense is elite.
Here's the number I have written down that I think it has to be.
I think it's 31.
The winning team has 31?
I said 30.
He went 30, yeah.
Yep. I think especially if it's Michigan. If Michigan gets to 30, game over.
Well, we've seen Washington's defense be pedestrian at times this year. So it wouldn't surprise. I mean, the way Michigan moved the ball on Alabama on the ground with Corum, I think they can do much more of that against Washington. That defense at times has disappeared for them.
I think we've got a setup for a great national
I do too. Your total's 55.5. MyBookie.ag total 55.5.
Yeah. So if you get 30 there,
30 to 25, yeah.
They make 30 to 17.
Yeah.
You can see that.
Ooh, I hope it's not 30 to 17. I'm going to have a rare sit at home and watch a national championship game on TV. I want it to be in a dynamic
Boy,
game.
I'm excited about that.
The last time I sat at home and watched a national championship game on TV, I turned it off at halftime.
I was going to pitch that we all go up in the studio and
do a watch party,
but y'all seem really excited about being back home. I just want to stay on the road forever.
No, I don't. I just got a text from Rap, the vet, and he said he's listening to the show, and Bullet heard my voice and started whining.
Oh, man.
That's sad.
That is sad.
I'm ready to see my dogs, man.
Well, say hello to Bullet.
And my kids. Shout out to Bullet.
Not in that order.
Tilly doesn't give a shit.
Say hey, Bullet.
No, I told you guys it's like Rams, dogs, kids. I'm kidding.
I don't care where I watch the game. I could probably be talked into that idea, by the way. But I'm just saying, the last time I stayed at home and watched college football national championship game, I turned it off at halftime. I just hope it's a good game wherever I watch it.
If you had a paid-for trip right now, you've got to go to Houston. Yeah, zero chance.
Is it for the good of the company? I'd do it in a heartbeat.
I think our company survives whether you're at Houston for that game or not.
I'm just
Well,
thinking,
no.
what's
I
the
cannot
scenario?
wait to get in my sheets. Like
Well, I
this
can't
weekend, I'm
either.
doing nothing.
I'm doing nothing either because I will be single for 2 weeks starting Saturday a.m. I do have to move my son back to college on Saturday. Nothing like a dad coming off the road for 7 days with a bad back, getting to move his son into the old dorm room.
You know, there are guys that are on a roof right now or working a jackhammer that laugh at us.
Yeah, but we're at one of the best resorts, if not the best resort.
But I'm
in Vegas complaining.
Honestly, I don't know how people travel for a living. Like, I couldn't do it. It's so frustrating. Every flight is delayed.
Well, at least Herb Street does it with a private jet. But imagine him Wednesday morning he hits on a plane.
Yeah, his
and then
schedule's
he's gone
crazy.
during football season. He's gone Wednesday morning until late Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, nobody is going to shed a tear because there are literally millions of people that would trade spots with him without asking questions. But that is one heck of a grind to go, and he's done some crap games. Like he's nobody has been paid to watch more bad football on TV than Dave Neal with the SEC Network. But Herb Street with his NFL gigs been paid to watch a lot of bad football.
Yeah, but Herb Street's making what, $10 million?
Oh, there's no telling. Yeah.
But I've got a friend that sells software. He travels out of Atlanta every week. He's flying all over the country,
and he ain't flying private.
No, I just can't imagine that grind.
Yeah, it'd be rough. All right, that was our 4 Downs brought to you by Slice. The show also being brought to you again by our friends at Hemp Hill Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. There's no name like Hemp Hill.
Yes, since 1954. Trust the name that Birmingham has. That is Hemp Hill Services. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Get that $69 tune-up. Make sure your unit ready to keep up with the changing weather. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
A couple of breaking-ish college football newses when we return.
All right.
Portal?
Nope.
Okay, not important enough to interrupt programming, but
no.
Okay, some breaking news, modern breaking news terms when we come back with Brown as we're here in Vegas. And still to come, television ratings, the state of the SEC, and so much more. This is The Next Round.
Tyler Watts and Jim Dunaway on All Things Alabama. Watch Talk of Champions at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call. LT takes off the gloves for an in-depth conversation with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmond Vodka. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com. The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. All the games, player props, great parlays, and all right there at mybookie.ag, right at your fingertips. And right now, you can get a special sign-on bonus when you make your initial deposit by using code NEXTROUND. That's mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND for that special sign-on bonus. mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
You want to look great while supporting your favorite show? You know the place to go is the official Next Round store at nextround.store. Yes, there are .store domains and we have one. From shirts to hoodies to hats and all kinds of fun stuff, you can rep the Next Round anywhere you go. At the beach, Next Round hats to block out that sun. Up north in the winter, get you a comfy Next Round hoodie. Just need something to put your $20 beer in at a game? Get you a Next Round koozie and throw that thing in your pocket. You never know what stuff Jim's going to make me put in there next. Check it out. It's the Next Round store at nextround.store.
Back with you to Las Vegas at the Doghouse Sports Bar and Sports Book. And we are live here on our way back to Birmingham, coming back from the national championship. Rockstar, I assume Lunsford got back today. I assume he's back tomorrow too. Did he? Social media, is Lunsford back today or not?
No Lunsford today. I have not seen him.
All right, so
did he drive or he fly?
No, he
No,
flew.
he flew,
I saw some pictures. That's one thing about being married to a social influencer. I know where Lunsford is. I think 365 days a year because his wife does such a great job on social media posting stuff. This part of the show, and we're about to hear from Kirby Smart, is brought to you by our friends at the University of Montevallo. If you're looking for a wonderful place for your son or daughter to go to school, Montevallo is the answer. It worked for me and my daughter. It can for you as well. First, as a parent, just start with the price point. Compare Montevallo, what you get, great education and all the atmosphere you get in college, great athletics as well, and then compare that price to other universities. And you'll that'll be one reason why you'll fall in love with Montevallo, and then let your kids make that choice on how much they love Montevallo. 23 NCAA Division II fully funded scholarship sports, great education, and so much more. Montevallo.edu, Montevallo.edu here in 2024. Make that choice. Kirby Smart, cut to Rockstar, had a chance after his bowl game in the Orange Bowl to throw down a challenge to everyone involved with college football. And it is a big talking point as a great college football season winds down. Listen to this first, and then we'll react coming up on the other side. But here is Kirby Smart after the Orange Bowl here on the Next Round.
People need to see what happened tonight, and they need to fix this. It needs to be fixed. It's very unfortunate that they, who has a good football team and a good football program, are in the position they're in. And everybody can say it's their fault and it's their own problem, all right? And everybody can say that we had our guys and they didn't have their guys. I can listen to all that. But college football has got to decide what they want. And I know things are changing, and I think things are going to change next year. And you know what? There's going to still be bowl games outside of those. People got to decide what they want and what they really want to get out of it, because it's really unfortunate for those kids on that sideline that had to play in that game that didn't have their full arsenal. And it affected the game. 100%.
And we were following the playoffs and then the aftermath of the playoffs. So we have not been in the studio, and it's been a busy time for us to talk about that fiery comment from Kirby. We did in one of our specialty shows over the weekend after they dominated the Orange Bowl game. But in this segment here, let's dive into that a little bit more, because this time next year we'll be winding down. We'll be in the middle of a 12-team playoff. And with 12 teams in the playoffs, I still know they're using the New Year's Six bowls, but that makes every other bowl now, it seems like, Brownie, even less than it was this year. The opt-outs seem like they're only going to continue to go up.
They will. They will in those meaningless bowl games. I actually think you'll get fewer. Everybody's like, just wait till guys start opting out of the college football playoff. Well, keep in mind that first round game will be the week before Christmas, right? The guys that hit the portal or opt out generally don't do it, some of them do it as soon as the season's over, but that's the only reason it happens before Christmas. I don't think you'll get a whole lot of it.
Malik Murphy became the closest to being an important part of the playoff puzzle to opt out that I can remember.
Yeah, I would agree.
And now it did not end up being a factor.
Yeah.
But I did find that interesting. The NCAA and some other folks, including the guy who's in charge of the bowl season, says that the solution is paying the players, all of them, to play in the bowl game.
You can't pay them enough.
Yeah, there's no way.
I mean, if I'm Marvin Harrison opted out of the bowl game, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, no, he did 100%. How much? How much would you have to pay him to play in that bowl game for it to make sense for him?
I mean, I don't know, 500,000.
I don't.
$1 million. Think about this though.
I mean,
the sponsorship for these bowls now, you can be the title sponsor for $250,000.
Yeah.
So it's not like these bowls are making a ton of money.
Yeah, I mean, Brock Bowers sat out of that same game we're talking about. What would you have had to pay Brock Bowers to play in an Orange Bowl for it to make sense for Brock Bowers to do it? He's about to go make tens of millions of dollars. What are you going to pay him to play in that game where he's like, hey, okay, now you got my attention.
Yeah.
I was going to sit out for a game that's not for the national championship, but since you're paying me this, you've got my attention, and I'll play now.
For the record, it was a medical scratch for him, right? Technically.
Yeah, but if they had been playing Michigan Saturday or Monday night, he'd have been in.
I think he would have gutted it
Yeah.
out. I just thought it was interesting, the players' compensation. I'm with you guys. I don't know if the sponsors can throw up this much money in this amount of time, but obviously there's something broken with the bowl system that's got to be fixed. And a lot of people are saying, let's just go ahead and ditch the bowls and go into the NFL playoff model. I think you touched on that a little bit yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% believe in that. I think I'm not saying ditch. By ditch the bowls, I mean, let's don't involve them so heavily in the college football playoff. You can still have all the bowl games you want. I don't care. You can play 100 of them. You could have all 130, however many teams it is now, in a bowl game, and I'm not going to complain about it. I just don't think they should be so heavily involved in the college football playoff. I think we need a lot more of this on campus and let the bowl games just be whatever they become. And if they could stay in business, great. If they don't, that's just unfortunately how capitalism works. And, there are a lot of businesses that go out of business because the business model changes. Look at the newspaper industry, right? You guys are bemoaning the fact that you can't pick up a newspaper and read it anymore. There was a time it was one of the best businesses in America. Things change, and that's just the way it goes, man. So I hate it for bowl games, but business models change. Things are going to change. If you can't keep up with the times, you can't keep up with the times.
Speaking of keeping up with the times, 27.2 million viewers for the Alabama-Michigan game, making it the most watched non-NFL game sporting event since 2018. So other than NFL, it was the most watched sporting event, more than any NBA game, any baseball, any hockey, any World Cup soccer, blah, 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 any of that.
Look, it's a humongous number. I'm not really shocked, though. You've got two great brands in Alabama and Michigan. You've got a great brand in the Rose Bowl.
New Year's Day.
It's New Year's Day. It's the perfect time of day. I mean, it was just perfect storm.
Yeah.
And it was a great game.
Yeah, that's the other thing is it went overtime. So it kept the audience. And even Washington, Texas, after that, dropped off by almost 10 million viewers.
That's surprising.
That's crazy. And that was a good game, too, with at least one good brand.
But did not end until about 11:30 Central Time.
And that hurts because that's a late Eastern Time crowd. And I think it also shows you one of the issues that involve the Pac-12 is you don't get a big West Coast number for Washington. right? I mean, you probably got a pretty big Southern number for Alabama being in that game with people tuning in to pull against them. Auburn fans, Georgia fans, Tennessee fans. So, you just don't get that same thing with Washington.
And New York goes to sleep.
Well, yeah, I mean, the East Coast, that's a lot asking them to stay up for the end of that game, yes.
By the way, yeah, I'll just point out, I was walking around downtown New York City a couple of years ago.
Right.
And their Athlons, whatever it was,
Right.
Lindy's.
Syracuse.
It was Rutgers on the cover.
Yeah, it tells you all you need to know.
So, yeah, I don't think they care a lot about college football.
The coaching breaking news. North Carolina has announced they're parting ways with Gene Chizik. A lot of people are painting this as Mac Brown's last stand. You fired coordinators. You've probably been okay. This is probably the last stand for Mac Brown at North Carolina for anybody that cares about that.
So is it being reported as a firing or that he's going back into broadcasting?
They parted ways. Yes.
Okay. So
It's
technically,
a firing. He got fired.
But my question, Chip Lindsey, my buddy Chip Lindsey's the offensive coordinator there this year, and with Drake May, I wonder what his situation is like as well.
Yeah, as Scott showed you the Taylor Tannenbaum tweet, they've agreed to part ways, which means here's the buyout.
I'm a little more surprised Mac Brown's coming back.
I am too, Lance. I
thought
mean,
this would be it.
We're talking about the last stand of Mac Brown. The fact that last stand hasn't already passed is crazy. And Matt Zennett's 24/7, the first report that LSU about to overhaul their entire defensive staff, including coordinator Matt House. Again, not a surprise, but it looks like Jimmy Lindsey, who was the defensive line coach, according to Matt, is out. Defensive back coach Robert Steeples and Kerry Cooks not returning to the LSU staff, according to sources. So an overhaul of the defensive staff there in Baton Rouge, which is not surprising at all.
Are you guys concerned at all if you're an LSU fan?
A little bit.
I am, because there's also the chance that Jim Harbaugh, when this is done and the NFL season ends all about the same time next week, that on Wednesday Jim Harbaugh is being announced as an NFL coach somewhere, and then Brian Kelly has been rumored to have some interest in that job. I would be watching to make sure if Brian Kelly walked out that door, where do I go to get a coach? Now, I personally believe that if Jim Harbaugh leaves, they'll go straight to Sharon Moore.
Ooh, I don't know. If I could get Brian Kelly, I don't know that I would.
Yeah, I think if you get Brian Kelly, you got to go Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
And I think Brian Kelly is one of the top 5 coaches in college football. Disappointing year this year. Still won 9 games, or I guess 10 with a bowl, and had a Heisman Trophy winner. But he just seems like he'd be a better fit at Michigan.
For the record, it is now official from LSU that those moves have happened, with a statement released from Brian Kelly saying that he has made the changes on the defensive side of the football. Not a surprise, and the way this normally goes, these things go through signing day. I'm a little surprised it drug on even after that.
Well, probably I don't know, but Chris, some of the great LSU fans who watch us may know this more. It may be a really first impression on how things work in Southern football for Brian Kelly, is that sometimes money people start telling you who they want on the staff and who they don't want on the staff too.
Yeah, and there was probably I don't know this, speaking out of turn a little bit, but there is a chance there were probably some contractual things that changed at the first of the year too.
That's right.
So making these changes after the first of the year probably saved $1 or $2.
All right, so that's the developing news there. Champy's brings you this hour of the show, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster, final hour here, and it's always brought to you by our friends at Champy's. Go by and see Sterling and the crew there. They'll take care of you. Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, deep Southern fried chicken, and so much more. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling's just a terrific guy. Go make his day in 2024. Make your day, too, with a great lunch or dinner. All right, as we come back here to Las Vegas, we'll talk about no SEC team in the championship game, how weird that is, and where the SEC is moving forward. Maybe take a little door ding this season, not being in the championship game. We'll get the thoughts of these guys when we come back to Vegas. The Doghouse Sportsbook and Saloon in the Resort World Casino and Hotel. It's a beautiful place to come stay in Las Vegas, Nevada. When you make your plans in 2024, make it Resort World.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter @ScottForresterTV.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. All the games, player props, great parlays, and all right there at mybookie.ag, right at your fingertips. And right now, you can get a special sign-on bonus when you make your initial deposit by using code NEXTROUND. That's mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND for that special sign-on bonus. mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken. If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of our extended road trip out west for the national championship playoffs, where Washington ended up beating Texas in New Orleans, and Alabama fell to Michigan out in Pasadena. We're in Las Vegas at the Doghouse, getting ready. LT He's already bought a ticket on a future, the NFL this year, the playoffs. It's just a wonderful place to come enjoy. March Madness is when I've come out here the most, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful trip. We're about to talk about the future of the SEC because it is weird not having a team playing Monday night for the national title and all of that. But first, let's start this hour off reminding you it's brought to you by Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, Sterling and the crew there, but also by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Tell us about Michaels.
Yeah, make the phone call today that I made over 2 decades ago, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the Next Round sent you. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jim Michelson, best in the business, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
All right, Forrester, this is some of the stuff Forrester puts together for us on the day in, day out basis. Let's just go NFL announcements first, and we'll start in Georgia, Forrester. Brock Bowers made his announcement yesterday. He's going to the NFL. So is Ladd McConkey. Reaction as Georgia continues to lose personnel now.
Yeah, I mean, we were in the car coming over from the airport to the hotel last night when the Brock Bowers one broke in. I sarcastically said, stunning news out of Athens, Georgia. Brock Bowers is going to the NFL. This does not surprise anyone.
No, I mean, he's going to be a top 5 pick, more than likely. I mean, to me, Travis Kelce is kind of the bar I think he'll be better than Travis Kelce if he can stay healthy. I think he's that good. On the other side, Ladd McConkey, I think, will be the fourth or fifth receiver that will come off the board.
Wow.
I really think he will be.
Out. Fourth or fifth receiver gets you second round?
I think he will be a second round guy.
So, will he go to the Rams?
I would bring up this, and maybe it's just because he's a white guy.
The Patriots have Belichick still there.
But I think there can be a little comparison with him and Cooper Kupp.
Of course. You got to compare him to a white guy.
I just said
I
that.
know. What's going to be funny is when Belichick takes the Chargers job, and that's his second round draft pick, is Ladd McConkey.
That will be funny. Also, Brian Thomas left LSU. He's going to the NFL draft, and
They've got receivers.
That guy put up numbers, man.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ohio State's kind of the bar when it comes to receivers. It was Bama. But I think Ohio State, LSU, Bama, those are they've always got great receivers.
They always have great receivers. That Ladd McConkey thing, what you just said right there, maybe the fifth or sixth guy off the board, because I'm thinking right away, obviously Marvin Harrison, Roma Dudze, and Malik Neighbors are going to be way up there.
Yeah.
And Brian Thomas.
And Brian Thomas. I mean, would he be in front of Ladd McConkey? You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Wow. All right. We mentioned it earlier. Liberty, Caden Salter is hitting the portal, and that has some people who follow, the portal instantly thinking Auburn because Hugh Freeze recruited him there. Now, Hugh has said several times he feels good with his quarterback room. I don't know. Watch on. And is he a guy that could play in the SEC, LT?
I think he could. Yeah, I really think he could. I think he's got that kind of potential. I mean, what did you guys say? He was a 4-star?
4-star coming out of high school, yeah.
Yeah, and almost 4,000 total yards, 44 touchdowns. That's pretty good numbers. Now, look, it's a
Liberty. By the way, they didn't lose. I mean, until they lost.
Oregon's called it. It is a Liberty schedule, so that is, different level of talent you're playing against, but also different level of talent you're playing with.
Yeah.
We like to point out. So I don't know that those numbers translated to the Southeastern Conference.
Who needs a quarterback in the SEC?
Auburn.
Auburn would be a good start.
I mean, I feel pretty good about Nussmeier. You guys?
I do, yeah.
I'd like to have him competing against a guy like Salter.
So, but I think LSU's secure. I think Missouri's secure. Ole Miss is secure.
Your point though on LSU is that his skill set, size, and all that. A little Jaden Daniels. I mean, he's 6'1", 195. I feel like Jaden was a little bigger than that, was he? Yeah, just a little.
I mean, they list Jaden at 6'2", 215. I don't think he's that big.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Florida
could use a quarterback. Yeah. I think the plan is still Graham Mertz. One more year.
I mean, that didn't work amazing. But there again, you're hitting the transfer portal again. What are the odds you're going to hit it?
But Tennessee's fine. Nico looked really good.
Yeah.
In the 35-0 win over a great defense in Iowa.
Yeah.
Florida's fine.
You think Florida's fine?
I do.
With Graham Mertz?
With Graham Mertz?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought he was so much better than advertised.
I'm not 100% on up to date on the depth behind Spencer Rattler, but obviously he's going to South Carolina. I thought I remember them getting somebody in the portal though. It's I don't know. Maybe this guy can find a home in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, and then we talked earlier about Holman Wiggins leaving Alabama to go to Texas A&M. 5 first-round picks, 5 years at Alabama, coaching receivers. More importantly, though, was the number 2 recruiter in the nation, according to On3 Sports and 24/7, who ranks that kind of stuff. And him being out was sort of a big deal.
Paul asked, didn't Dilfer take the kid from Auburn? Absolutely, they did. And he's a kid that ran into some legal troubles.
Charges were dropped.
The charges were dropped on a deal. I think he pled down to some smaller things. And Trent Dilfer said, and Mark Ingram, the athletics director at UAB, said they did their due diligence. They did not rush into this decision. They talked to everyone that they could talk to that was involved in the whole deal, and they are comfortable with this. And then Kitna said he's got a good support system to not make the same mistakes again that he made before.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's an interesting move there.
Yeah, that's some of the portal news. And one other thing from Forrester, and we mentioned this yesterday, but we not on the show, but privately. But I wanted to get y'all's just ballsy reaction reaction to Connor Stallions being dressed with a rose necklace and right there in the stands in Pasadena cheering on Big Blue, Go Blue.
I mean, he earned his money. Whatever they're paying him, whatever the setup is, Michigan's obviously playing for a national championship. But
50-yard line tickets, too.
I mean, that really is an FU. Like, and or I would assume that Michigan probably provided the tickets, right?
I mean, those are good tickets right there. I don't know who provided them, and I assume that is Connor Stallions. I'm taking Chase Winovich's word that is Connor Stallions because the only time I've ever seen him, he's got a hat pulled down over sunglasses.
No, I'm pretty sure that's him.
So I don't know what he looks like without a hat and sunglasses on, but those are legit third row 50-yard line tickets. Really, really good tickets.
Do you guys
and by the way, he tells people that he will be in the stands at the national championship game too.
Okay.
Or as they joke on Twitter, he loves to buy tickets to watch Michigan's future opponents.
He knows where to get tickets.
Yeah.
So real quick, do you guys put any stock in Pro Football Focus?
Yeah.
Oh, I love their stat breakdown.
So they've got Ladd McConkey, the 7th receiver coming out in this draft, but they've got him 34th overall, so early second.
That's crazy. And I've made jokes about him, and I was wrong. I thought Ladd McConkey was, I stereotyped him. That's a pretty remarkable rise for him in a Georgia offense where he's never been viewed as a dominant receiver, but he's always been viewed as a really, really good receiver. If he goes, tail end first round, high second round, that's a heck of a rise.
I just thought watching him last year with Stetson Bennett is a little bit different this year.
Yeah.
But he was so good.
Yeah, he and Bennett seemed like a better chemistry than he and
Carson Beck
had.
To our SEC discussion after LT asked Rockstar the question, he always asks him on Wednesday when we're together.
Who's doing trivia?
Or not me.
Or it's Wednesday night, Rockstar.
Yeah, Rockstar Wednesday night, which means it is.
That is trivia. T to the R to the I to the V to the I to the A trivia.
Yeah, so I missed Rocky wasn't there last week. I won't be there this week, but Rocky, I assume you'll be there tonight, right?
I will be there tonight with we got a special guest, and Miss Lee Haver will be our accountant tonight. That's correct.
How about that?
You know what would have been really cool is if like our plane was flying over Odie's at like 8:15 and Lance could have parachuted in. Like everybody could have run out in the parking lot and Lance comes in with a game ball.
What, the space station?
Rockstar asked the question that LT always asks at the Floribama, what if the shoe doesn't open?
What if the shoe doesn't open, Matt? Do they close the bar?
I told y'all the discussion I had the other day. Like, we were talking about the Goodyear blimp, and Matty was like, why do they even have that with drones now? And I'm like, yeah, it's symbolic.
Yeah.
I was like, there's a lot of history.
Sentimentality. It is to the Rose Bowl.
It was great advertising back in the day. It was cool seeing it. I'll go ahead and tell you.
Oh, I agree. But I told her, I said, if somebody fell out of that right now and hit the middle logo, the rose, it would be a official timeout. They would scrape the body up.
Would go to commercial.
Yeah, they would come out. They would pack dirt. They'd smooth it out, and they keep playing the game.
Yeah,
It's got to be an official timeout. Neither team is charged with a timeout.
I mean,
these are the weird thoughts that go through my head.
How much time would they put on that clock that they hold at the stadium?
Add another minute.
Yeah.
Add another minute.
Yeah. Oh, why is it going to be a 9.5-minute break? Yeah. I joked with him. I said, depending on the blood pattern, on the rose logo, depending, they wouldn't have to touch it up at all.
Yeah.
But how quick would fans have been over that? Like, oh my God, I just saw somebody fall out of a Goodyear blimp.
Of course, we had the ball and we were moving.
Yeah,
so.
but then a bad call. I wasn't holding.
Yeah,
I mean it would flip quick.
Odie's the awkward thing would be like I hate it on the games when a guy gets hurt and they have to go to break really quiet, like. And Lance Taylor is still down on the ground. We're going to step aside here, and we'll be back to the Rose Bowl. And there's no music going out or anything. It's just that awkward. I mean, Fowler and Herbstreit would have to do a couple of those segments where the camera's just a real distant shot.
Matt Berry's back in studio, Matt.
You and Trevor Maddich tell us what's coming up later tonight.
Matt, you fill time. We don't know how long this is going to take. You fill time.
I mean, really, what do you even say?
Yeah.
Nothing you can't say at that point, I don't think. Odie's, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
I listened to one of the do you remember the guy that boom goes the dynamite?
Oh, yeah. Is he still in the business?
I don't know about that, but there was
Big Network, yes.
There was a video that came up.
Oh, no. Different guy.
Have you guys seen it where a guy hits 2-run homer? And I don't know what happened, but the pitcher charges him coming down third base.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, tackles him.
Yeah.
But the play-by-play guy is some of the worst stuff I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Odie's team trivia.
Odie's tonight.
Yeah, 2 locations. Go see them. Will Haver with great staff. Ice cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. Great food from Rodney Davis. Odie's Tap.
Okay, our SEC discussion here. We are 5 years removed from Clemson and Alabama playing 3 national championship games in a row, right?
Okay.
3 of 4. 2015, 2016. They played in the semis in 2017 and then played in the championship game again in 2018. So they met 4 years in a row in the postseason.
Never see that again.
Probably not.
But now, for the first time since the first one, and you made this point yesterday, first college football playoff 4-teamer and the last 4-teamer is the only ones that did not have the SEC in the championship game. Where are you on the state of the SEC moving into this new era of 12-team playoffs with Washington and Michigan playing in the national championship game without the SEC? Was this a ding to the reputation, you think?
I don't necessarily think so. I mean, I think it is kind of weird that the first one and the last one don't have SEC representation when you're talking about the best conference in the world, but I think it's as healthy as it's ever been. In a down year, you had, I think, the best team in football not make the college football playoff in Georgia. You had a Heisman Trophy winner on a 10-win team. We talked about this earlier. When you're just looking at the Vegas odds, I think your top 3 teams coming into next year to win the national championship in whatever order, Georgia, Alabama, and Texas, SEC's fine.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Big Ten added a college football playoff team too in Washington, but you added a college football playoff team in Texas. I think that only strengthens the league. And I think you see teams in this league. And we'll do this conversation another time because, we haven't had time to think about it. But maybe tomorrow or Friday we could do the ascending-descending with each SEC team. Who do you feel like is on the come up? Who do you feel like is flatline or going down? And I would dare say if we did that, we would find a lot more on the come up than not, right?
Well, how about
and that
this?
would put Texas in that group.
I'll throw this out there right now. I think there are 10 potential top 10 teams in the SEC next year.
So at some point during the season.
Could be a top 10 team.
Could be a top 10 team. 10 of them.
10.
Wow. Do that on the other side before we get to trash, okay? I'd love to hear that. Trash is coming up next, and then we'll wrap up the show in our final segment as we broadcast here. I will tell you there is one note from the national championship game on Monday, which is very important. It's brought to you by our friends at Gutter Cap, is that Washington running back Dylan Johnson, so far, all the word is that X-rays negative, and that Ryan Grubb quote yesterday, we expect him to play in the game on Monday. Now, this can be just smoke and mirrors, and he'll go out there and try to warm up and not do anything, but that's a big injury.
Big. I mean, 2 touchdowns against Texas, and he is the guy that keeps that offense a little balanced. I mean, Michael Penix Jr. will be the reason if they are to win a national championship, but Dylan Johnson, second most yards averaged over the last 5 games in college football from the running back position. Yeah. He was great down the stretch.
And I've seen some highlights in here this morning of that Michigan game again. The offensive line against a really good Texas front 4 pass rush. That offensive line doesn't get talked about enough. They gave Penix a lot of time in that game.
Well, our buddy Chip Brown kind of sent me a summary on what went wrong for Texas. But he pointed out, he was like, Penix, and I said this the other day, he said he was elite. He was like, he made throws that were just unbelievable. And he said one of the reasons he's only been sacked 11 times is because of his quick release. And he's got great pocket presence. I'm telling you, and looking at that Pro Football Focus, they've got Penix going number 30 overall. He is going to be a steal.
Yeah, you think he's going to be the best of the class, don't you?
Yeah. I think it's going to be him and Jaden Daniels. As much as I like Caleb Williams, I think those are your 2 best quarterbacks.
So you're telling me now that we're middle of the pack, the Bucks, that if Michael Penix Jr. is there, I should get thrilled if they take him.
I would be.
Yeah, actually, this is not the worst year to be middle of the pack.
No,
it doesn't seem that way.
If you need quarterback, I mean, normally you would say I'd rather miss the playoffs if I need quarterback,
right?
Just have a bad year or whatever. You're not in the worst shape. I mean, I think there'll be some good names.
And just think about maybe a receiver because we lose Mike Evans most likely.
I agree with Lance. You'll be picking like 15, 16, somewhere around there, I guess. Is that right?
Middle of the pack.
20?
20? You don't get more middle of the pack than Nate Brown.
If what Pro Football Focus just said and Michael Penix is around then, if you ended up with Michael Penix.
Well, they've got right now Pro Football Focus, Caleb, the number 1 quarterback, Drake May 2, Jaden Daniels 3, Bo Nix 4, Michael Penix 5.
I'd much rather have Michael Penix. I did see our boy DJ Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network, say it's all going to be about the health evaluations. You know, he's had an injury. He's got an injury history, and he's like, the film does not lie, the eyeballs don't lie. It will all be about the doctors with him,
and that's how good the Washington offensive line has been this year, that he is still upstanding.
That's right.
For game number 15.
Well, I'll tell you, he's got those 12-inch hands, whatever a really, really big-ass hand is.
Yeah.
He's got some of the biggest ever. It's almost Kawhi Leonard-like. So I think East Coast, some of the northern teams would love to have a guy like that for conditions.
That update brought to you by our friends at Gutter Cap.
823-2212, cap it, don't snap it. Dirty, dangerous job. 2024, the year you don't need to get on the roof. Call Chris Stewart. He will give you an absolutely free estimate. 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
When we come back, trash on the table, and LT will give us the 10 teams he thinks will be in the top 10 possibly at some point from the SEC next year. What's a huge number?
That's a big number.
That's on the other side on TNR.
Unlocked with Fox Sports' Brock Heward and Lance Taylor weekly at Disrupt the Media on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
There's only one Champy's world famous fried chicken. Poor boy's tenders, full fried chicken plates, and a little bit of the Mississippi Delta with chicken on a stick and hot tamales. On your way to or from the big game on Highway 119 in Alabaster, stop by Champy's Chicken. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
The Next Round is so much more than the show you get from 9 to 1 each day. So make sure to head to our official YouTube channel at Next Round Live and subscribe to get all of our latest content. We, of course, have plenty of specialty content and shorts based all around the sports in the heart of the SEC. But we also talk pro sports, gambling, lifestyle and entertainment, and so much more. It's the Next Round YouTube channel where you never know what you're going to find next. Subscribe now to see the latest content and get notifications when we go live. That's at Next Round Live on YouTube.
It's time to start thinking about employee holiday gifts. Consider getting your hardworking guys a pair of Red Wing boots. Each day, your employees are on the job site helping your company succeed, so reward them with comfort at its best. The Red Wing mobile shoe truck can visit your shop and fit your employees with a great selection of boots. Or Red Wing gift cards can be purchased at your local Red Wing store, available in all amounts. Whichever program you choose, your employees will appreciate the quality, service, and selection from Red Wing shoes, and they'll also be thankful they have such a great boss. Reward your employees this holiday season with Red Wing shoes.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine prepared fresh daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got two great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
The Next Round store is live and loaded. Check out the latest logo t-shirts and hoodies, get your favorite team colors, the Next Round flag shirt, or grab the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest t-shirts. Go to nextround.store, that's nextround.store.
Back with you on the next round. A couple of things are just coming back to me on this trip. We'll get to two of those real quickly. But first, before you tell us about Dr. B, give us the 10 SEC teams you think have a chance to be in the top 10 at some point next year.
Okay, I just threw that out in my head for whatever reason.
Let's workshop it on the
But here we go. So let's take the two teams that are coming into the league.
All right.
Oklahoma and Texas both could be top 10 teams.
That's two.
Okay. Let's take Alabama, Georgia.
You really think both those?
Yeah, 4 preseason.
I mean, Oklahoma was. What did they end up this year? They're
No,
going to
I was kidding about Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 4.
LSU, Ole Miss.
I agree.
LSU, Ole Miss. Okay,
Both
6.
of them could potentially start in the top 10 or close to it.
Missouri, Tennessee.
Missouri 7, Tennessee. Okay, 8.
The Auburn Tigers in Texas A&M.
Auburn and Texas. Okay,
that's gonna. Those last 2 are a bit shaky.
I think Elko is a great coach. I don't know what they're going to do. They probably won't have the personnel this year. It's probably 9. I think Auburn, if they can get quarterback right, I think in year 2 under Hugh Freeze can be one of these 10-win teams.
Yeah.
Kentucky at 11. Can you go to 11?
I don't know.
That'd be hard.
But I mean, that just shows you the depth of the SEC.
I think Lance probably stretched it to get 10, honestly.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd go.
I feel great about 8.
I think pretty good about it. I think A&M and Auburn, big unknowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel better about Auburn than A&M.
I would say Missouri, too, though. After we looked at Missouri's schedule the other day, that's a very manageable schedule for them.
Hey, he's a big dreamer, big picture. You know, he dreamed about his hair at one point, and Dr. B said, man, I can get that in the top 10.
I went hatless last night.
You did.
Dr. B offering the Sensus Transdermal Infuser. This enables Dr. B to get various medicines and therapies into the scalp where the hair follicles are without using any injections. This is revolutionary as Dr. B can pinpoint delivery of a patient's genetically specific products without any needles. I do the non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time. That's all I'm doing. My hair is more than doubled in thickness. For more information, schedule a consultation today, 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
Okay, so here we go. I noticed it when we did the show here on our way to Pasadena, and you were in the bathroom same time with me, how awesome the bathroom smells here at Resort World. And instantly,
really
what's
does.
the smell? I told you what the smell was.
Money.
Fuzzy navel.
Oh, yeah, it was.
It smells like a fuzzy navel.
Interesting.
I told Dunaway I hadn't had a fuzzy navel since I was 15.
Yeah.
I really haven't. I remember drinking the schnapps.
Peach schnapps, right?
Yep.
And orange juice?
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't know if there's vodka in it or
No,
what.
you could put vodka if you really wanted to amp it up.
A little bit, but it was a very popular drink back in the 80s, and that's exactly what the bathroom smelled like. I just went in there again. I was like, yeah, peach schnapps.
I bet peach schnapps are one of those drinks. You know, there's a lot of people. Tequila is very polarizing. If somebody's had a really bad experience with tequila, they'll write it off. I would assume if you've had a bad night with like schnapps, you probably never go that way again.
Yeah, so sure. But that's it. I threw up in the back. I want to say it was Tanya Horrell's house. Maybe it was someone else's. But one of the parties in, high school and/or right out, mixture of high school, college kids. I feel like I had a bad peach schnapps night. Ooh, and that smell takes you right back to that moment instantly there. And then the other thing, I can't believe. Well, this is our first chance to tell the story. And I don't even know if you want to tell the story, but I am not TSA checked at LAX. I don't go pay the $75, which is a great value, but I just, in my head, I never think to myself, I don't fly enough to take advantage of this. And then I take 8 flights in 7 days, and I'm like, I would have paid $175 to have the quick check line. So I'm going through LAX, and, our different checking systems, we're all going different ways, and I make it through the check, with the masses, the unwashed. I'm in there with them. Brownie goes TSA, boom, he's the first one at the gate. I get there at the gate, and I'm like, where's LT? I kept looking for you guys, and I never saw anybody walk by, even the pre-check. And I was like, something is, is there anything wrong with the equipment? When I got there and Brown was there, I was like, hey, where's LT? Is he at a bar drinking? Nope. Last time I saw him, what'd you tell me?
I said he was sitting just outside security without his hat, his vest, and his shoes.
What happened?
Lance looked like he.
Well, so I went through when we check bags because Maddie is the pre.
She and I are TSA pre-check.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
so the guy told us, he was like, we're kind of slow today. He was like, if you get a nice guy, they'll probably just let him roll through with you. So we tried that, and I walked up, and the guy was like, no. And I was like, obviously, and I told him this, you're not a nice guy because the guy told me if you were nice, you were going to let me through. And he's like, not happening. So I had to go back around, and when I went back around, the dude in front of me was over 75, so he didn't have to take his shoes off. And they really didn't make him do much. So it was like they almost overcompensated for him with me. And so I had to take my hat off. Once I went through, another dude, he had a pocket knife in his bag, so it backed everything up. And so we were just kind of waiting on him, and he was arguing about keeping his pocket knife, and they ended up throwing it away, and my stuff came out. But yeah, I had no shoes, no hat, no vest.
The way Brown made it sound, well, I just took the whole situation, and Brown said he tried to go through TSA, and I dropped the conversation. In my head, I thought to myself, you had been stopped at TSA trying to go through the pre-check and had been pulled aside, and they had taken your vest, your hat, and your shoes away to go inspect them or something. You were I pictured you with your hand behind your bar.
No, the guy was like, you got to take your hat off, which I never remember that happening, but maybe you do. But then he was like, you can't have that puffy vest on. You got to take that off, too.
Yeah. No, Dunaway misheard what I said because I was laughing about you trying to go through TSA pre-check without it on your without being registered.
So I thought they had corralled you, like, we got a problem.
Yeah. He thought you had been basically arrested. I was like, no,
I told you guys it was eerie yesterday because the only flight I ever missed, and it wasn't my fault. It was somebody I was traveling with. They forgot something.
Yeah.
So we got a little tripped up on the time. But we got to the airport over an hour in advance. But the problem was TSA was so backed up at LAX. And yesterday it was eerie. There was nobody in line.
I mean, it is hit or miss. It is hit or miss. But to Dunaway's point, I've been pre-check, and all it takes is seeing one long security line and a short pre-check line to make you thankful you drove somewhere and paid that $75.
Yeah, it's well worth it.
One time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well worth it. All right, let's do trash, brought to you by Mortgage Right. Hit it, Rockstar.
Reporters have been saying some pretty nasty things about Western Pennsylvania lately. And I couldn't agree with them more. I couldn't disagree with you. I couldn't agree with you more than the fact that
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Buying a home, major milestone in life. Getting it right comes down to the right advice at the right time. That's why we're proud to partner with our friends at Mortgage Right, who do mortgages the right way. Call them today, 205-815-9200. Apply online, mortgageright.com/TNR NMLS 2239, equal housing lender. So the earliest known version of Mickey Mouse enters public domain today, and there's already a movie coming out which features the iconic character as a serial killer.
Oh, man. We're going to do this now.
We did this.
We did it with Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. Why are we going to do this to
People
Steamboat Willie?
They really are. I mean, I get the way the copyright and trademark laws and all that work. Look, we got laws. They work, right? Oh, is this oh, my gosh. It's called Mickey's Mousetrap. Look at that. How scary. So I get it, but I mean, I don't know, man. Just at some point, you're like, okay, this is created for good family fun and kids to love, and you're going to make a cheap buck doing it that way.
Yeah, but I mean, look, they've done like porn spinoffs on things like, what's worse? Would you rather have your brand as a porn spinoff or a horror film? So would you rather have? So this is Mickey Mouse's Trap, or would you rather have Dickie Mouse?
I would go Mickey Mouse's Trap. Hey, last night what's that right?
No, I was going to say Dickie Mouse, but then I thought, well, Mickey Mouse.
Be careful, Rockstar. You're speaking to you're making it sound like you're Minnie Mouse.
Oh.
So this new indie horror film, and you see it there, Mickey Mouse's Trap is eyeing March 2024 release. First trailer came out on New Year's Day. Now, United States law allows copyright to be held for 95 years, with January 1st of every year bringing a new wave of intellectual property that can be used by anybody. Now, there is a disclaimer. It says, all caps, this is not a Disney film or production. It is not to be affiliated or endorsed by Disney in any way.
Yeah, that's the trademark also, that you can't, it cannot be deceiving to make people think that this is part of the people who used to own the trademark. So if you're using the old Winnie the Pooh, or in this case Mickey Mouse, you can't make it look like your project is a Disney product. For instance, if we did a next round with a Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse T-shirt, it cannot look like it's a Disney endorsed thing.
So, and that is going to get tied up in courts left and right, because that's going to be in the eye of the beholder, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, whether you can't make a law that says this does look like it, this doesn't, it's going to be up to a judge and a jury if there's ever legal action.
We had Alien versus Predator. We could have Pooh versus Mickey, right?
That's true.
On
Fight to the death. Who you taking?
On our T-shirt?
I think I'd take Mickey.
Yeah, I think I probably would too. But last night in front of the Bellagio, I was walking in front of that long walk in front of the Bellagio.
Did you get the water?
Yeah, they did. They weren't doing the fountain show at the time. I don't know if it was shut down for the night or whatever. But you had the dressed up as Mickey, Goofy, and Minnie. And, of course, they're trying to hook you in to make pictures and make you pay. And they go right to the kids, too, which is so lowball.
Yeah.
They don't go to the parents.
It really is.
I mean, it's so despicable.
Yeah.
And they look like bum Mickey,
How
bum
about
Minnie,
the
and
guy
bum
taking
Goofy.
pictures of me last night? Remember, he was like, he told me to do like 5 different poses.
I know, that freaked me out because I thought he was setting up a joke on the fourth one because the third one he had Maddie touch your breast, hand on breast, and I thought the fourth one was going to be he was going to joke, now you put your hand here. But
So, yeah, interactive show back to Matt Apple. And so I was the first guy they brought up.
Right.
Thank
But
God.
did you notice the little Asian fellow behind me?
I did not.
When he had me stand in my spot, he was massaging my shoulders, and he was like,
oh, yeah. Yeah.
He was like, you're a muscle guy.
I've actually got
I was like, what in the hell is going on here?
Right.
I've got that on video.
Lance got lucky last night.
I edited that out to send to them, but I can revert, I think's the word, back to the original video, which ended up your whole time was like 4.5 minutes long.
Yeah, it was too long. Would you guys want a car that was previously owned by Michael Jordan?
Did he take good care of it?
Was it from the 80s?
Did he go get his oil changed frequently?
Basketball legend. His 1991.
Does he want it back? Because if I owned it then, he wants it back. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could jack the
He
price up.
actually bought this in 91 from a dealer in Illinois. It's only clocked up 30,000 miles since then. The current owner picked it up in 1995 and has used it incredibly sparingly.
That's a good
While
looking
the
car.
service history shows a clean bill of health. Comes with a host of extra features, including electric sunroof, dual zone climate control, and cruise control, which were the height of luxury in the early 90s. Now, the car is a 1991 850i model. It's blue metallic paintwork. The listing states the front bumpers have been touched up a little bit. It was even a custom number plate featuring M Air J.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Extras include stereo, cassette player, CD changer, adjustable steering column.
I
don't know what it's listed for. Rocky, we have any idea?
It may be an auction because they never listed the price.
Yeah.
That's a good looking car. I don't mind the look of it.
No, that absolutely looks fantastic.
Though, and boy, this is going to be first world problem for me. A lot of my music listening is done via Bluetooth or Apple CarPlay or whatever. So I don't know what, and you wouldn't even have XM.
You don't have
on
any
that.
cassettes laying around?
I don't have any cassettes laying around. I don't know what our CDs. I don't know what I do.
People make fun of me because of my DVD collection. We went by a place last night. We drove past it, selling DVDs out
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Here
And
are
toys.
cringe-worthy words to avoid in 2024.
All right, you listening, Dunaway?
They say hack.
Hack. Like he's a hack, or I'm gonna hack that, or what?
Multiple context.
Yeah.
Riz.
I think we need to start using it in a sports conversation, like Jim Harbaugh is trying to rizz up these NFL franchises, make sure they know he's a good coach.
Slay.
Another day, another slay, Jimmy D.
I thought I did that last night.
You slayed it
by supporting you, and you had to get up and perform for anybody.
I didn't know you supported me.
I recorded it.
Oh,
I documented it, man, and did the great zoom in to have you guzzling the beer at the end.
That was
I didn't
great.
know there was zoom.
Do you know how bad the lighting was in there to make it look Taylor Corn worthy, to make it to our social media?
Hey, Rockstar, let the Academy Awards know they're wasting their time. Dunaway's already got this little lock.
Oh, I'll tell you this.
Filmography.
The old lady comedian that came out.
Oh, that was the part of the show.
I was ready to clap back on her, though, if
Yeah.
she came at me.
She was one of those people, and she had to be in her 50s. So she says. Could have been 60s the way she looked.
She
And
called her.
I will tell you that she was not funny.
Nope.
And she tried to do like our boy did, TJ does, when, just pick people out of the crowd and make funny jokes. And he is fantastic at it. And she was horrible.
Yeah, like their comedic element, I didn't think was good. I thought the overall production and some of the Cirque du Soleil stuff was great.
I don't understand how the hair spinning works.
I don't
Like,
either.
The girl is spinning by her hair. How does
Because
that work?
even if it's not her hair, what keeps her?
Yeah.
What is it
What's the
connected
connection? Yeah.
And then the other, the couple that were kind of like intertwined,
making love in the air.
He kind of had like the wraparound. So like if he would have fallen, it would have been fine. She didn't.
Yeah, she had nothing.
Yeah, and if
she was using him to hang on to.
And I kept saying that to Maddie. I was like, if she falls, like, what do we do?
I love Lance is always debating that. Do they stop the show?
And then the guy on the wheels, Brad, I couldn't. They wouldn't let you film what was going on. I found out after I filmed LT, but they didn't want you to film anything. But the wheel thing, I wish you could just see it. It was.
Oh, did they say something to you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then when the show started, lady in the front row, or maybe right across from you, was filming, and the security guard came down and that literally stopped her.
I'll tell you the most uncomfortable thing when the lady comedian was picking on these two ladies in front. She was like, "Oh, the Golden Girls are here."
Oh,
she was like, "Is this a girl trip?" And one of them was like, "Yeah, it is." She was like, "Oh, we're out to get some dick tonight."
Oh.
And then they didn't say anything, and then she changed it quickly, and it was like one of the. Did you notice their expression? Like they wanted to get up and leave.
Yeah. Because they were probably around early 70s. Yeah. And that was the down part of the show last
He
night.
says Lance is always worried about people falling.
Yeah. Or just extraordinary things
Yeah.
that would stop the
That would
world.
stop events.
Here's another cringe-worthy word to avoid in 2024. It's cringe-worthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in the headline.
Weird list.
Obsessed is another one.
Yeah.
Side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, wait for it.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
We end on shower thoughts.
All right.
I've never seen an energetic person drinking energy drinks, and I've never seen someone who drinks energy drinks being energetic.
Wait for it.
I'm not a big energy drink guy. I can't tell you the last one I've had really.
When I pop a Ghost in the studios, it gets me going.
I don't know that caffeine has the effect on me that it has on a lot of people.
Because you built up so much.
Have I built up? You
Tolerance.
think I built up a tolerance over the years?
Caffeine, alcohol.
Like I can
Caffeine,
drink
fat,
condescension. I can drink. I've fallen asleep drinking a Diet Coke before. Really, I mean, I have. I've spilled it on me, fallen asleep.
Yeah.
It just does not. It does not. I can drink a Diet Coke, go to bed, and go right to sleep.
Yeah, me too.
I like this. Considering how big of a deal it was, really surprising. The moon landing is not a national holiday in the U.S.
It does seem like a very big moment in history that we don't even
Is it
remember.
because it wasn't real?
Yeah, I don't know. If we made it, I mean, Columbus Day and all those that we've celebrated over the years, it does seem like that's one we would stop for.
It's a good point here. You never hear about women with a foot fetish.
Well, because to Dunaway's point, men's feet are so bad.
And there's got to be somebody out there though that enjoys that. But hey, I don't want to bring it up, but Orlovsky, I just saw a social media thing on TikTok when I was looking. But on the show the other day that he's on with Stephen A. Stephen A. apparently gave an expensive pair of shoes at Christmas to the female host, and Stephen A. was remote, and Orlovsky brings the shoe up, and while showing it in the box, smells it, and Stephen A. starts saying, "Orlovsky, you're not one of those foot fetish guys, or it's a joke," and I didn't see how it all ended. I'm not going to bring it up to Orlovsky next time he's on with us, but I did think it was you'd see the clip. It was crazy.
Two more shower thoughts. Accepting you're going to throw up has got to be one of the most humbling things.
Oh, it is.
I'll never accept it.
I fight it till the end.
I fight it till death.
Me too. But at some point, you're like, I got to go.
Yeah, you start spitting.
Yep.
Oh, God,
it's time to go.
It's been 15 years for me, though.
Yeah.
Got to keep that streak. And final shower thought, dogs don't understand that you're driving the car. They think that every once in a while you get into a metal box and it takes you someplace random.
Yeah.
It's so magical, and I'm going to hang my head out the window.
That's right, because if you don't put them in the kennel, if you're just doing it in the neighborhood or something, they are all over the place. They do not want to sit in the right place. I'm like, Charlie, man, sit over on the other side. Just let me get us back home. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Yeah, Mortgage Right. Buying a home, major milestone in life. Getting it right comes down to the right advice at the right time. 205-815-9200. MortgageRight.com/TNR NMLS 2239 equal
Let's
housing.
see, anything I haven't gotten to yet?
I have Peter Burns thing.
Okay, Peter Burns.
The health of
final
college
step.
football.
Okay, Brew McCoy returning to Tennessee. Baylor opened a $212 million basketball arena. And that's it. Peter Burns' final thoughts when we come back to the Doghouse at Resort World right here in Vegas on TNR.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
There's only one Champy's world famous fried chicken. Poor boy's tenders, full fried chicken plates, and a little bit of the Mississippi Delta with chicken on a stick and hot tamales. On your way to or from the big game on Highway 119 in Alabaster, stop by Champy's Chicken.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
This hour of the next round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. All the games, player props, great parlays, and all right there at mybookie.ag, right at your fingertips. And right now, you can get a special sign-on bonus when you make your initial deposit by using code NEXTROUND. That's mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND for that special sign-on bonus. mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. When it comes to great clothing, I love comfortable clothing that I can also wear to the golf course or anywhere I go. I get that from Roback. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Whether it is the softest hoodies you'll ever find, they're great quarter zips, the polos, the pants, the crew necks, you can get them all at roback.com, and we're helping you save. Your first order at roback.com can get a 20% discount when you use code TNR20. That is roback.com, code TNR20 for 20% off your initial order at roback.com.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Start your day online at nextroundlive.com. Get all the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. And it's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
J.J. McCarthy with an interesting comment. About 80% of teams in college football steal signs. We actually had to adapt because in 2019 and 2020, Ohio State was stealing our signs, which is legal. We had to get up to the level they were at and make it an even playing field. That was J.J. McCarthy out at the Rose Bowl.
I'm surprised he says it's only 80%. And secondly, I love that getting up to the level they were involves one of the bigger scandals in all of college football.
And Feinbaum saying on Get Up that he is leaving Michigan after next Monday night, talking about Jim Harbaugh. That is Feinbaum's belief.
A lot of people feel that way.
That Jim Harbaugh's last game as a college coach will be Monday night, maybe walking off with a national championship at Michigan, that on Tuesday or Wednesday he'll be an NFL coach.
I know we've got a lot more parity in college football, i.e. Michigan playing Washington for a national championship, but he can't control what goes on in the NFL, really. And boy, he's got a good situation at Michigan. I know you've still got NCAA kind of hovering there, but, you know, he can stay at Michigan.
But he's a guy.
Career.
He's a guy that's been an NFL coach at an elite level and a Super Bowl, and can look at that and look at the coaching calendar he has to deal with right now and make a very educated decision on what he wants to do with the rest of his life. Good for him. You know, because there are a lot of guys, say Lincoln Riley. like if an NFL job offered him, he doesn't know what it's like to be an elite level NFL coach. Jim Harbaugh's lived it. He's been elite at both of them, and he gets to make a choice. Not many guys get to do that.
Thank you to Southern Rubber Tire and Urology Centers of Alabama. They brought all of our coverage out in Los Angeles, and we appreciate those folks so much. Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA, 16 locations, 35 urologists for all your health needs, from prostate care to kidney stones and everything in between. Make an appointment in 2024, urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com, and our friends at Southern Rubber Tire. They're great coverage of folks like your interview series with John Campbell.
Yeah, Bryant and the gang, they do a really good job down there, 6th Avenue North, yourself, I-65. I know Tire is in the name, but they take care of everything. No job is too big. No job is too small. They'll take all of it. Right there at Southern Rubber Tire. You can see more, southernrubbertire.com, southernrubbertire.com. And as always, we ask you, when you use Southern Rubber Tire, please tell them the next round is who sent you there.
All right. Tell me about Peter Burns reacting to the television ratings.
So if you did not see it, the Alabama-Michigan Rose Bowl was the 3rd highest rated game of the entire college football playoff. And that's significant because the 2 highest rated were the very first playoff games. The Rose Bowl in that first playoff year, 2014, the Rose Bowl, which featured Florida State and Oregon, and then the Sugar Bowl that followed immediately after. In fact, actually, they bled over. The Sugar Bowl started early, or didn't start early, but was not able to start on the main networks because the Rose Bowl took so long to play.
Yeah, and they delayed the game the other night a little bit for Alabama and Michigan.
Yeah. But that Alabama-Ohio State game, those were, to date, the 2 highest rated games. And when the ratings came out,
that's not including national championship.
No, that's just the semifinals, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look. I think it's just semifinals.
I disagree. I think it's the.
Look it up.
I would think just because we were going through a pandemic, people weren't going out.
Yeah.
Alabama, Ohio State with those 2 brands would have been the.
If you'll give me 2 seconds, I've got it right here.
No, I remember.
I looked at it yesterday.
No, it was an ass whipping.
All right, here you go. So you've got your highest rated games of the. Come on now. Your highest rated game is the college football playoff.
I'm just saying the national championship game doesn't usually draw 27.3. It's usually around 18, 19 million.
Well, I don't think
that's a big number.
27.3 million is a big number.
Yeah. Anyway, so those are the 2 highest ones. And that was such a ratings, it was described as such a ratings win. And what we learned was the reason it was a ratings win is the TV ratings are best when you've got your 2 New Year's Day games in the playoffs, the Rose Bowl and the Sugar. And they've never quite figured out how to capture that if it's not the Rose and the Sugar that are the 2 semifinal games. So here you go in the final playoff. You got Rose and Sugar again, Alabama, Michigan playing in the Rose Bowl, 2 big national brands, going to overtime, massive TV number. So there are a lot of people that have started trying, for whatever reason, to write the obituary for college football. The playoff expanding is going to ruin the bowls, which is going to hurt football, college football. The NIL, kids playing for money now, it's going to hurt college football. The opt-outs, it's going to hurt college football. The transfer portal, where we basically have free agency, is going to hurt college football. Peter Burns points this out. 133 teams in college football on the FBS level. Out of 133, how many of you think year over year had increased attendance this year? 133. Give me a number.
Increased attendance this year?
Increased attendance year over year.
77.
Oh, no. I would say 11.
94.
Oh, wow.
94 with the TV product, the best it's ever been. 94 teams increased attendance out of the 133.
I'm getting old, but I hate going to games more and more that I go to them.
People want parity. They don't want the same old Southern teams, right? The Alabamas and the Clemsons and the Georgias playing, and the LSUs and the Auburns playing for the national championship. We want parity in college football. As Peter points out, you got 2 teams now that have not won a national championship in 25 years. They're about to play for the national championship.
We've got more parity than we've ever.
That's right, and that's his point. TV ratings, to the point of the Alabama-Ohio State game, are up. I mean, you can start saying college football is dying because of all of these things. It's just a narrative. The numbers do not support that college football is dying.
Yeah, but I would think with more parity, you would want to stay home and watch more games, right?
I would, but people aren't.
Well, yeah, I mean, the reason why the NFL is so popular is that they educated all the fans through their TV product that you can stay home and you're knowledgeable about the entire league instead of you having to go to a stadium or whatever. You're watching the entire league and you're a fan of the NFL. And I think what is happening with college football, that it's becoming less and less regional, more national, which allows people to watch more teams.
I don't know why people go to NFL games. I don't know why. You because every game is played while you're at the stadium. You miss everything.
And by the way, it is a better product on television than it is in person. Not the same energy in the stadium.
It is. I will say this, though. I'll contradict myself. If I lived in LA, I would be a Rams season ticket holder. And I would go to those 8 or 9 games.
Listen, I go anytime the Dolphins are in Nashville or Atlanta, I go see them. And every time I go, I love going and watching my team. I don't get to do it often, but I'm the entire day of the NFL because everything's going on while I'm at that game. And that's the one thing about college football is you can go to a college game and still get home for the big games, or you could see a big game early and go in the stadium. You don't get to do that.
Yeah, but I would rather watch my NFL team miss all the other NFL teams than go to a college game and miss all the college games.
But you don't. That's my point is, you tailgate and you watch some of the early games, then go into your game. Or you go to your early game and you're back home for the late game. That's not the way
I know, but it's hard to watch a game at a tailgate.
It is.
All right, that's our show day from the Doghouse here at Resort World. LT, 15 seconds, just to say thanks to everybody here.
Yeah, Richard Holland, Steve, all the fine folks, Cindy, who's our general manager?
With an
Lisa.
Resort World, Doghouse Saloon, incredible food, great sports book, great people. You're going to love it.
God willing, we'll be in studio tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 Eastern. Not coming back and going to Houston, which is a little disappointing, but we will be back in studio. Look forward to seeing all of our team back there. Until next time, from the road, God bless you. God bless America.